All right, everybody. Let's hope this works. Let's hope the sound works. Hold on 1 second, and then I'll let you know what's happening here. Welcome to the Rant, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios on RadioMisfits.com. All right, we'll get to everything in a second. Hold on. Hi, I'm Pugs. I don't know if you knew that or not. You do. I'm going to stop pretending, every day we start the show and I'm like, here's my little rant. This is who it's for. This is what it is. You know what? I'm done with that. 4 quarters. You people, there's nobody new. You guys know what this is, okay? Just go ahead and look at me. Look at me. All right. We're lucky we're doing a show at all today. I got to tell you, crazy spring break rules. We're on spring break. Apparently, when the kid goes on spring break, all the adults are expected to be on spring break as well. I apologize. No show yesterday. Oh, boy. Hold on. I'm doing some things. Boom. Okay. Welcome to the Rant. I'm Pugs Moran. I apologize for the delay in today's show, but we're having this whole set that you see here will be gone tomorrow. It's going to be a whole different kind of a thing that we're going to be working on. On Monday, if you were with us, I had my first guest, my son, and I got more people who said, why is your chair so much higher than his? More. My mother was like, why is your chair so much higher than, and okay. All right. Apparently we got to fix that. Apparently the host's chair being humorously higher than the guest. Apparently that was lost on everybody. It was intentional. That's an old talk show bit where Johnny Carson's chair was always a little bit higher so that he could look down on them so that the audience would never mistake who the host of the show is. And then Andy Kaufman famously on his Andy Kaufman talk show took it to an extreme where his desk was like 40 feet in the air and he had to speak to the guest who was at ground level in a chair and he'd use a bullhorn. It was a joke. It wasn't that great. And that's why I had my chair raised up. All right, but we won't do that again. We won't do that. So I got to redo the whole set. And that's good. This is good feedback. Just because in the moment that I am receiving feedback or criticism or however you want to, constructive criticism, just because in the moment I'm like, shut up, you're wrong, doesn't mean that I am not authentically taking your criticisms to heart. And I got it. All right. Yeah, here, I'll show you what it was. Here, this is what we were doing. I'm trying to find the clip from that Andy Kaufman special where he was super high up in the air. And of course, I can't find it easily. So that's all right. All right. We're lucky to be doing a show at all today. Here's why. Having some real technical problems. It started to show itself on Sunday. When I was in here, we were doing the Shock House Dallas tapings, just, trying to figure out what that's supposed to sound like. We're recording it. We had an incredibly fun recording session. We were all walking on cloud 9. Is that a thing? Walking on eggshells, sitting on cloud 9. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Point is this, we were all feeling great. And I looked down and I'm like, oh shit, it didn't record. And I just thought it was me. I thought, I screwed up. That's something wrong. Then I get in here on Monday and we do the first regular Rant show of the week with me and my son. And in the middle of the show, the box that we use, it's called a Zoom box. It just turns off. And I didn't understand why it would just turn off. Now, it had done this before, but I assumed, like a couple of days earlier, but I assumed it was because the AC power had come undone and it got loose. And so it powered down. That's what I assumed. There were no batteries in the Zoom box as a backup. So on Monday, I come in, I bring in new batteries. I put new batteries in. I make sure, because I'm just trying to head that off, And then in the middle of me and my son doing our first interview show here on the Rant, the whole thing shuts down again. And I'm like, what the It turns back on. We reboot the show. We started the show again. And it worked. It worked for 2 hours. And then I come in here today. I'm in here this morning and I'm recording some things. And I start recording and I notice that the damn thing shuts off in the middle. I'm like, what is happening? So I've got a Zoom box that I I can't record anything with because it's not dependable. Now, today, just before we started to do the show, at 2:00, I tried it again, and it shut down. And it went, right away. The thing that plays those noises, the thing that allows me to speak through this microphone, the thing that allows the camera, no, not the camera, but the thing that allows for all the sound and all of that, it doesn't work. So now the worst case scenario is that we'll do a show for a while. We'll do a fundraiser. We'll do a fundraiser for new equipment. No, we'll do the show for a while just through the laptop, and it'll drive me nuts, but that's okay. We'll keep doing this show. We're going to keep doing this show. We have a guest in tomorrow. We're going to try and do something again with a guest tomorrow. New set, new everything. We're trying to do it with a guest tomorrow. See how that looks. And hopefully it'll work. So right now, hopefully we'll get a show in. If not, Sports Bras, Cece says, I got us equipment coming, Pugs. No, that's your equipment, and it's for the sports bras, and, I appreciate that. I've got to acquire Radio Misfits equipment that works. And I will figure that out. I'm not concerned. We are doing great things. The reason we have a guest in tomorrow is because I'm going to tell you about all the cool things that we're doing. Yeah, we're getting out. We got some fun bar things we're going to be doing here, and we'll be announcing. So those of you who hang out in the chat room every day, you want to come, we're going to start doing bar nights again. Just, us hanging out in the bar, talking trivia. We'll start a trivia league. That's what we're doing. We're starting a trivia league, and we'll talk all about that tomorrow. If you follow me on Facebook, you may have seen it floating around. Also, look at me out there doing appearances. I got an appearance on Saturday that I'll tell you about. Things are happening. We're doing stuff differently here with Shock House Dallas. And I know you like this rant, and the rant will continue in some way, shape, or form. Because you know me, I'm a narcissist, but changes are coming. Very excited. All right. Speaking of that, this show does run on your gratuities. And I would like to thank the big tipper from Monday's show. She is our executive producer. Thank you so much, Leslie C. She's a regular. These mid-month tips, man, they really mean a lot because we push hard at the end of the month for, try and make our bills at the end of the month. We push hard. We call it Pledge Week. But it's the tips in the middle of the month that just, are like, yeah, that's awesome. So thank you so much, Leslie C. If you want to be tomorrow's executive producer of the show, all you got to do is be the biggest tipper of the day. Drop a little something in the Venmo or the Cash App, and you shall be rewarded. See, this is what we're trying to avoid. Thank you, Ed. Everybody, all hail the king of Radio Misfits. Now, he knows we're just I'm trying to get off the tit, boss. That's all. Just figuring stuff out. Ed is the boss of Radio Misfits, and he is 100% behind all of our plans, at least in so much as he has been looped into. We have a new show coming to RadioMisfits.com that we'll be announcing Friday on Friday's show. Yeah, Ed, it's the one I've been talking about for like months. It's a very, very cool show. Don't want to say what it is, but it's a very cool Dallas-based culture show, which I can't wait to. I have nothing to do with it. I'm not the host of it. So anyway, hey, how about this, right? Wait a second, where is it? One up. So on Monday, how do we do this? Will that work there? That'll work there. So on Monday, I told you about how in some of our weekend Shock House Dallas recordings, we got a theme song for our Shock House Dallas show, which is really just me hanging out with the Sports Bras. Sports Bras are a great local podcast. They do sports talk. Very local. They're funny. Great production. I mean, these kids. I saw what these kids are doing, and I'm like, I could appreciate that. So I'm hanging out with Keith and Cece of the Sports Bras on Sundays, and we're recording, and we're trying to build something. We've got an idea. Now, I told you about a song. I tasked Cece. I said, Cece, my friend, I need you to get us a really cool theme song, like the really cool one you've got for Sports Bras, because Sports Bras has a really cool production that starts their thing. I'm like, that's really good. You need to do that for this. And he's like, hold on. And he came up with a theme song for Shock House Dallas. We played it for you. Here, listen to this. And then I've got some more stories I got to tell you. Oh, wait a second. Can I not play it anymore? Did it go away? It might have gone away. CC, what do you need to do? Do you need to like download that stuff? You need to like keep it? Because all of a sudden I can't get our cool ass song. Anyway, it was AI. It was all AI, and it was created in like 3 minutes, and it was ridiculously good. Is this it? Yeah, whatever. I think it went away. Anyway, it's a I bet it doesn't go away if I pay the monthly fee. Oh, and I'll be paying that monthly fee. It's an app called Donna. And all you need to do is just put a description in a little description bar and then hit go. And then it asks you what genre you want it to be: funk, rap, pop, K-pop, and all kinds of choices. And then it'll create a song, like a parody song. It's incredible. So I've been screwing around with it the last couple of days, and I've written a whole bunch of, like, for instance, I'll tell you, I was laying on the couch and my son was watching TV, and I just typed in, write a song about how gay my son is, and it's 80s playground gay, It's not like, a homosexual. We call each other gay all the time. He's a 15-year-old kid. I'm just pleased that 15-year-old kids are still running around going, "You're gay," because that was fun. We weren't making any judgments about people's, orientations. It was just a word that was used. It was a catch-all. Anyway, my son, we're sitting there on the couch, and all of a sudden I hit go on the button and I project it onto the TV so it interrupts his YouTube video. And it's all of a sudden just this crazy good AI song about how my son is gay. Ghay. And the song made a point. And I just want to make sure Ghay was one of the lyrics. It's funny. Anyway, AI, man, it's coming for all of us. What did CC do? Did you just send it to me? I think you got it. So anyway, I started like going on a bender, and like I tried to create all of these different AI songs, and then it shut me off. It's like, you can't do anymore. And I'm like, well, I thought this was free. And they're like, no, you got to pay $5.99 a month. So I will get rid of Spotify if it means I can make my own music. All right, let's see. What is this? Yeah, I can't get it to play, CC. He just sent me something. He just sent me a link. And yeah, I can't get it to play, but that's all right. That's all right. Technology. Went away. Technology. It goes away. Yeah, it's like the Zoom box. The Zoom box that is on the fritz. It's been in use every day for 3 years. And I don't know, is that good by 2025 standards? Every single day, this thing has been a workhorse for 3 years. It's a piece of technology. And now it's starting to, do things that it's not supposed to. So it's breaking down. 3 years. Is that acceptable to us with technology? I don't know how much this thing costs, thankfully. But is that acceptable? 3 years? I lived in a house that had the same refrigerator for 30. I don't understand how 3 years is that the limit on technology? We used to drive cars for 10, 15 years. Now everybody has a 4-year-old car. It's so old. When did we start accepting that, the new technology is just going to be shittier than the original stuff? The stuff that was really built and lasted. Now I sound like an old man. Let's see what else. What is Adam doing? What does that mean? It's so cool to have lame humor. What does that mean? Shut up. Humor police. Adam. All right. Let's get started. What do you say? The show runs 4 quarters. I know I said I'm not going to do this anymore, so we'll get started with a little look at history, all the things that have happened on this day. We call it antecedently on this day. Thank you so much, Ed. Although Ed's like, hold on. It's like, if you need anything. I called you earlier today. I called you at like noon. I was going to have you like troubleshoot this for me. Adam, take it for what you think it means, boss. What the fuck? But why is he being all fucking chesty and condescending, you fucking dick? I ain't do nothing to you. What's going on with Adam? Why is Adam Breaking Bad? No idea. Did I say something that triggered him? Was he like, oh, I don't like hearing that. I heard something and it hurt my sense. I must say something. Just don't say anything. I'm sorry if I said something that you didn't like. You know, everything isn't required to be like, I'm going to fucking get in his head now. All right, let's do it. Antecedently on this day is the first thing we do. It's a look back on all the things that have helped shape this day, our understanding of it, and prepare us possibly for whatever it is that's coming forward. Antecedently on this day, March the 19th, 1831. On this day, the first documented bank heist in U.S. history. Isn't that weird? 1831. Did you think like banks would have been, what, did they invent banks in 1831? Because I don't think there was like hundreds of years before man decided they could rob the place the money's kept. When were banks first started? Anyway, 1831. You know how much they got? 245 grand. That's a lot of money. I don't know. One of you guys go on Google. Go on Google or ask Grok. Grok might be better than Google. Just say, hey, Grok, well, if I had $245,000 in 1831, what would that be worth today? Yeah, I just heard that. I just said, what would that be worth today? When I get comfortable, I just, look, this is a testament to you, my good friends here. I do this every day. When I get comfortable, I lapse back into my South Side, and so. When I'm being bullshit. When I'm being bullshit, that's when I fall into my fake Texan. Yeah, I've got a fake Texan accent too that I use. I like that one, but it's it's for when I'm just trying to be friendly. I'm just trying to. On this day, antecedently in the year 1918, the United States Congress establishes time zones. Hey! What was that like before time zones? Do we need time zones? What if it was the same o'clock everywhere? I guess that'd be like a lot of midnight at noon kind of situations, right? Antecedently on this day in the year 1943, Frank Nitti, the Chicago outfit boss, it says here. It says here, Chicago outfit boss after Al Capone. I don't really accept. I consider myself a bit of a Chicago outfit historian. Don't really accept that Frank Nitti was ever, It was a Cardo and Paul the waiter. What was his name? After Capone, for all intents and purposes, the guys who were running the outfit after Capone were Tony Accardo and the waiter. Paul the waiter, can't think of his name. Anyway, Nitti was like the most high profile guy. So like after Capone went down, like the most famous gangster that, people in Nebraska had read about was Frank Nitti, but he wasn't the boss. Anyway, it was on this day, Frank Nitti, the Chicago outfit boss. Fuck you, Wikipedia. It's not true. Frank Nitti, the Chicago outfit boss after Al Capone commits suicide at the Chicago Central Rail Yard. Yeah, he refused to go back to prison. They had him pinned. They were chasing him. They chased him into a rail yard. And he had just gotten out of prison. He was one of the first wave of Chicago outfit guys to get caught up in the Hollywood racketeering scandal, where they put Hollywood under their thumb and controlled the unions and all that shit. Made people like George Raft a movie star. George Raft was a big movie star. He was really just a gangster lackey who they went, you could be a movie star because you're handsome. And they made him a movie star. He was kind of good. George Raft was kind of good, but a real live gangster. So he had gone to prison for that. He was in charge of the whole Hollywood thing, Nitti was, and he couldn't go back to prison. He went a little bit nuts in prison, and when he was cornered by police in the rail yard, he pulled out a gun, put it to his head, and said, "You ain't taking me alive, coppers!" It was on this day in 1943. Gangsta Frank Nitti sent himself to the afterworld. On this day in 1979, the United States House of Representatives begins broadcasting its day-to-day business via the cable news network C-SPAN. 1979, C-SPAN started. Any day now, they'll cross their 100th viewer number. C-SPAN. Our money pays for this. It's good. It's got to be there. I'm not complaining. I'm glad it's there. I am glad that should I ever feel the need to eavesdrop on how the national sausage is made, that I can turn on C-SPAN and I can watch any number of bullshit nonsense. Now, it's been on the air since 1979, and I've never yet done that. But as an American, it is important to me that should I ever want, it is there. All right, happy birthday. Although, let's be honest, Elon's probably shut that shit down, right? Elon's like, nobody watches this in his weird, certainly not patriotic accent. There we go. Let's do birthdays now. Moving on to birthdays. These are people who were born on this day. We decide whether or not we like them or, go kick rocks. Nobody cares. It's your birthday. Born on this day, 1848. I'll be his Huckleberry. Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp, born on this day in 1848. Hey, how about the Zoom box working so far? I'm like on edge. I'm like, this thing's going to go out at any moment. It's working good. Born on this day in 1848, Wyatt Earp. Born on this day in 1891. Isn't this weird? It's all a construct. It's all a construct. It's all a construct, and keep giving me the fucking blue pills, because you know what? This construct, I've seen what taking a red pill looks like. I am not interested. I figure I got about 20 years left here. I've been taking the blue pill my whole life. I'm going to keep up with the blue pill. Let's podcast. I don't think there's good internet inside the Matrix. I think if I took the red pill, I think we'd have a lot of problems. I certainly wouldn't be able to do this. So let's continue taking the blue pill. All right. So to that end, on this day in 1891, Earl Warren was born. Earl Warren. Okay. Now here's why I say blue pill, red pill. It's all a construct. This is all a matrix. You're telling me it's the JFK files were released on Earl Warren's birthday. Is that an accident? Earl Warren is, of course, Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. He is the presider of the Warren Commission, which was tasked with finding out exactly what happened to JFK. Born on this day, Chief Justice Earl Warren. Are you kidding me? Really? It's all a matrix. It's all a construct, people. Just say no every once in a while and see that nothing happens. Nothing happens when you nope. Don't pay your taxes. Just don't ever pay your taxes again. See what happens. Nothing. Probably. That's bad advice. You don't want to follow that kind of advice. But the grander point stands. It's all a construct. Because born on this day in 1944, Sirhan Sirhan. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got some info on Bobby Kennedy, too, today. And it just so happens it's the birthday of the guy who killed Bobby Kennedy, Sirhan. What? So nice. They named him twice. What? Is that his real name? I got to click on this. Is that his real name, or is that like a media concocted name? Fuck, I'll be damned. That's his birth name. His dude's name is Sirhan Bishara Sirhan. All right. Is that a Lebanese thing or an Arabic thing or Jordanian? It says he's a Palestinian Jordanian. I don't know. Sirhan. Born on this day, 1944. It's all a construct. Sirhan and Earl Warren born on the same day. And it just so happens that on this particular day that we're talking about it, the JFK, RFK, all of that nonsense has been released for only the second time in 2 years. Biden released a whole bunch of that stuff. It's all the same stuff, or at least, stuff that I've seen. We'll get into it. Trust me, that's one of the stories we're going to talk about. This insane nonsense, but it's fun. It is fun, and I'm here for the fun, man. All right. Born on this day in 1947. How about Glenn Close? Would you? We're going to have to look at this. Hey, Glenn Close, this is one that I've struggled with my whole life. Because Glenn Close, I think I first came to know Glenn Close. I think it was in World According to Garp. And she played like a mom. She played Garp's mom. And I don't know that she was hot. And I don't know that I didn't know that my antenna was up for hot when I saw Garp, The World According to Garp, which is such a good movie. I've seen it as an adult. It's a really good movie. But because I was little, I was like 11, 12, something. I don't know when that movie came out. But Glenn Close, here, let me do this right here. Yeah, we'll do it right there. Glenn Close, let's check her out. Then she did Fatal Attraction, right? Where we were all asked to believe that Michael Douglas would, jeopardize his relationship with Ann Archer, who, I mean, I was like 16, 17 when I saw Fatal Attraction. And I remember thinking, granted 15, 16, I'm not very worldly, but I remember thinking Ann Archer, the woman he's married to, is so much better than this crazy, weird perm having one night hookup. Alex, right? Wasn't that her name? I'm not going to be ignored. Oh, that was great. She was supposed to be hot though in that, right? But then, I was like, I don't know. She's not doing it for me. She never did it for me. There she is. She's a fine looking woman though. I mean, all I'm saying is by Hollywood standards, you meet her. Look, you grow up in Lincoln, Nebraska, and you meet her at the insurance agency where you work. You're doing great, man. You're doing great. I'm just saying, I would. All right, there you go. To answer the question, Glenn Close, would you? Sure, I would. Why not? All right, let's keep going here. Let's see. What else do we have? Born on this day, right? We're doing birthdays. I lost myself in that really, really important question about Glenn Close. Would you? And not now. It was a lot like Glenn Close. Back when Hollywood had magic, where they would like, do you remember Bull Durham? Do you remember watching Bull Durham and thinking, Susan Sarandon ain't that hot? Why are they, is she hot? I mean, Hollywood's telling me that she's hot. She's not that hot. I can do this all day. Women who have disappointed me. Let's do that as a segment. All right. Born on this day in 1952. All right, we're going to talk about crazy things. We're going to talk about some crazy things. We're talking about some crazy shit later, right? Because the JFK stuff and all that. We're going to have some fun. We might play with some Q theories a little bit. Sometimes I will dabble with the best of them. Born on this day in 1952, Harvey Weinstein. Okay. So I've been seeing this lately. It's been percolating for a couple of months, right? But it's picking up steam. Oh, here it comes. And I just can't believe it. Because I know the story inside and out. I've known the story for 30 years. This has been an open secret. Nobody denies that it happened. There is a very real movement. It's a MAGA movement. Let's call it what it is. It is a fucking MAGA movement that says that Harvey Weinstein is innocent. That he's innocent. That's like the latest thing that they're ginning y'all up with. Oh, you got these YouTube guys who do 45-minute because it's clickable. Oh my God, you take the outlandish point of view and you do it seriously. That's clickbait, man. They're manipulating. But here's the problem. Then thousands of people see it and they go, you know what? I think that might be right. Even though the person who created it doesn't think it's right. The person who created it is fucking with you. But now I can't go a day. Today's Harvey Weinstein's birthday. There are entire threads of people demanding that the Biden Justice Department for Harvey Weinstein, the absolute worst fucking people. The absolute worst fucking people. You guys are being manipulated to carry water for the worst fucking people over and over and over again. It's coming to an end. It's going to end. There's got to be a natural end to what the average fucking inbred moron is willing to accept as reality, right? Harvey fucking Weinstein is innocent now. That's what we're doing. Epstein can't be far behind. Oh, yeah. We're going to come with that. That's coming next. You wait. All you people, there's people who have dedicated like years of their lives to, I want to know what's going on with Epstein, with their stupid fucking red hats, attending rallies. Epstein files, release them. We are 6 months away from these fucking idiots going, I think Epstein was innocent. Because that's what happens when you're stupid, have no principles, and lack a moral foundation. That sounds interesting. I'm going to be the interesting guy who says that now. But that's totally different than what you said before. What? I don't remember. Fucking stop it, people. Harvey Weinstein has been a well-known predator for 40 years. The fucking crime is that it took until 2016 or whatever to get him in handcuffs. That's the crime. Well, but now he's innocent. He's innocent. MAGA. Come on, guys. That's the crazy fucking 15% over there. Right? Now, that's maybe not as dangerous as the crazy 15% over here who can't walk through a fucking parking lot without keying a Tesla, you fucking idiots. But do you see? It's this absurd, extreme behavior. Come back to the rest of us here. 70% of us, man. And it's on us, you guys. In the 70%. It is on us to check our fucking egos. And when these idiots on the right and on the left try to come back, and some will, some won't, they're going first. Some will try to come back. It is on us to welcome them back. Okay? Like veterans of a lost war. Don't fucking bring it up. Stow your ego. I told ya he would die in prison. Don't fucking, let him back in. Let them back in. A lot of them won't, though. A lot of them are so dug in, whether it's crazy people with fucking, they had a horn implanted on their head. Because I want to be a unicorn. I identify as a unicorn and walk around with a fucking horn on their head, right? Those people, some of them might never come back because that's kind of a commitment. And then, you got the dudes with I had Trump's face tattooed on my face. That guy ain't coming back either. That guy's fine. But anybody else, man. We got to heal as a country. You got to stake your ground here in the 70% of normal Americans and be willing to accept that there's going to be a whole lot of biting of your tongue if we're ever going to get back to some semblance of what we were. I would settle for, something that resembles 1997. Let's start there. Seems nice. Harvey Weinstein, born on this day in 1952. Now that's a rant. That's what you do with a rant. You just go off. Born on this day in 1955, Bruce Willis. We like Bruce Willis. Here's what I don't like about Bruce Willis. I'm a patriot. And you know it because I got an eagle behind me. I'm a patriot. There's Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is about as yippee-ki-yay, all-American, badass 1980s action hero, John McClane. So why on Bruce Willis's Wikipedia page does it describe him as a German-American actor? Fuck is that? He ain't German American. He's fucking an American actor. Bruce Willis, born on this day, 1955. Bruce Willis draft. I didn't prepare a Bruce Willis draft. I think I'm waiting for him to die. Is that terrible? It's true. I mean, he's not well. Can't go out in public anymore. I mean, I look, do I want a miracle? Yeah, of course. He's Bruce Willis. He's David Addison from Moonlighting. Oh, he was so funny. He's Bruno from those wine cooler commercials. So, yeah, I want a miracle, but I mean, hey, I live in this world too, right? I mean, I know. Death knocks for all of us. And if you know what? And if Bruce Willis died today, well, that'd be weird because it's his birthday. Although it would be more proof of my Matrix theory. If Bruce Willis died today, well, great. Could you imagine? If I died today, my life sure as shit doesn't stack up to Bruce Willis's. My boys had a great ride. Happy birthday, Bruce Willis. We all love you. That was probably not the best happy birthday speech to Bruce Willis, but you got it. There was feeling behind it. Born on this day in 1958, Andy Reid. Is he the best coach in football? I don't think so, but a lot of people do. His numbers, holy cow. His record of Andy Reid's record of accomplishment in modern times, it's pretty, you could choke a donkey with it. It's pretty good. But I don't know. I'm not, I'm like, I don't know. He all right, I guess. He's fine. All right, let's go. Andy Reid, born on this day in 1958, born on this day in 1980. This is somebody who I just have, I love this guy. I love this guy. I don't find him, like, he's not trying to appeal to me. I'm outside his demographic and I'm outside his core, so whatever. But when I talk about what I eventually want to create here in Dallas and what we're working on right now, this Shock House Dallas concept of just regular people, interesting, fun people getting together and just talking about stuff. No holds barred, whatever. If there's an asshole in the room, we're going to find them and we'll call them out, right? Yeah, so it's just guys sitting around talking. I have this fondness for what was known in the 90s as shock radio, right? I came through that format in radio. The name makes it sound a lot worse than it is, but what it is it's real talk before the fear of cancellation, before the fear of don't think that way because that hurts my ears to hear it. That bullshit. And it is alive and well. The idea, when I tell people about this, well, that would never work today. I say it is working today all over the internet. Okay. And the birthday boy here, born on this day in 1980, is one of the great examples of somebody who is doing exactly the kind of conversational talk that I want more of, that unfortunately actual terrestrial AM radio is completely abandoned because they're only interested in, corporate sponsorships and who those corporations want you to push for president or a senator or whatever. That's what, I get it. That's their business model. That's what they are now. But the idea of real talk, whether you consider this what I'm doing to be real talk, it's a very basic entry level kind of version. Hopefully we're going to change that. We're going to expand this. But if you like that kind of real talk, it's alive and it's out there. And I'll say some names and you're going to recoil because I don't know, a lot of people have been brainwashed to, they hear a name, that person votes this way, or I think this, and so Joe Rogan is a great example. Now, I don't think that Joe Rogan is a particular, I've known Joe since the 1990s. He's done every incarnation of my show, whether it was in Chicago, whether it was with Kevin Matthews, whether it was with me and Kelly here in Dallas. So I've known Joe, been out to dinner with Joe. I remember JoeRogan.net. I remember he was really pushing JoeRogan.net. And this is 2006, 2007. Talking about he's doing a set at the Improv. And we're out to dinner. We're at Trulux. We're all having dinner before his show at the Improv. And he's talking about how he's got to get back to his hotel room so that he could record this thing for upload on JoeRogan.net. He was serious about it. And I remember thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. I also remember hearing other people at the time making fun of him. Yeah, he's got like 10 listeners. There's like 10 people that tune into that thing. Did it every freaking night of his life for like 20 years. And now Joe Rogan is the most listened to podcaster in the world. He is the standard that all other podcasts dream of. No one's ever going to get there. It's ridiculous. And he does it through conversational talk. He's not afraid of being canceled. He's not afraid of saying something that, you're a misogynist. Now, I think the danger of Joe Rogan is that he is so popular and so powerful because of the influence that comes with that popularity. I think that there are a lot of people who misunderstand who and what Joe Rogan is. I always say about Joe Rogan, and I don't mean to be derisive about it, but the line that I like is Joe Rogan is what stupid people think a smart person sounds like. I think that's funny. I think that's kind of funny. Because Joe is an engaged, relentlessly, intellectually curious, well-rounded dude. That's what he is. He's not a genius. He is intellectually curious, and that's the thing that separates. Now, there are people who are intellectually curious and they're really stupid. There are people who are intellectually curious and they're just regular dudes. That's Joe. And then there are intellectually curious people who are also geniuses. Christopher Hitchens is a great example of that. Joe Rogan isn't Christopher Hitchens. Joe Rogan is an everyman. Joe Rogan, I admire the hell out of what he's done. I just do get a little bit worried when people start quoting things he said. And I'm like, yeah, but Joe said that. And, Joe is a comedian who is always looking for something funny or interesting to get his audience to react. So you gotta just know that, okay? But he's great. So Joe Rogan is an example of that. You could put if you put Joe Rogan on an afternoon drive, syndicated him from coast to coast, he'd be the most listened to talk radio host in America. That's not even a question. But they don't do that. So anyway, that kind of stuff is out there and it works. Another great example is Bobby Lee. I don't know if you guys know Tiger. What is it? Is it Tiger Lily? Tiger something, whatever. Bobby Lee is a comedian who does an incredible Madhouse morning zoo conversation show. And when I say conversation show, what I mean is it's not like, we're going to play a wacky song and now we're going to do silly games. No, it's just really interesting people sitting around talking without interruption, without commercials, without weather, can you stick around, man, for another segment? Without that, just people freeform sitting around talking and being fun with each other. Bobby Lee's great. And now it brings us to our birthday boy, okay? Our birthday boy. Here you go. This guy is, I think, the best of them all. Born on this day in 1980, Theo Von. Comedian Theo Von. I don't know what you think Theo Von is, but he is an incredibly talented caster. Brian's not broadcasting, he's streaming. He is an incredibly gifted everyman dude who can articulate really complicated things in real. Theo Von, I think, is extremely smart. Theo Von is extremely smart with an ability to sort of articulate these complicated things in a barroom setting. Like he's hanging out with a bunch of people. That is genius. That is the secret sauce. And I can tell you, I remember Theo Von long before he was Theo Von. I remember Theo Von from MTV's Road Rules. I don't know if you guys remember that show, but I was supposed to be on one of the seasons of what was the fucking show called? MTV's The Real World, the Boston one. Because some shit happened, I was too old. My birthday happened with deadline. They said you're technically too old, so I didn't get it. But I was then thrown into the hopper for Road Rules because Road Rules had a 2-year age difference. It was a little bit older. Like, you can do Road Rules? You want to be a part of that? And I'm like, yeah. So I was like in the hopper so I was very familiar with that season of Road Rules and all that stuff. And Theo Von, I remember him, and I remember thinking, oh, he's a star. He's a star. And then he did nothing. Then he was just a dude from Road Rules. And I think he did MTV for a little bit, but then nothing. He did nothing for 15 years. Pops up again. He's got a crazy mullet. He's doing incredibly biting stand-up commentary or social satire stand-up comedy. And now he's one of the best, one of the absolute best interviewers, one of the best communicator of ideas to regular people. I love him. Theo Von, happy birthday. Born on this day in 1980. I bet you my love for Theo Von has caused Adam to go nuts. Let me check because I imagine he's one of those guys that does not really like Theo Von because Theo Von, didn't he interview Trump? I guess that's bad. I'd interview Trump. Get him in here. All right. I love you, Adam. I just expected to trigger you there with that one. All right, what else? Anybody else? Nah, that's it. Okay, also born on this day, 1988, Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw, American baseball player, local kid. Grew up, best friends. I love this story. Clayton Kershaw's best friend growing up was Matthew Stafford. You met 2 little 8-year-olds riding their bikes up and down the street, and you're like, oh, one of them is going to be a Super Bowl MVP, and the other one's going to be a Cy Young Award winner. How does that happen? Well, they grew up in Highland Park, Texas, where everybody's rich and everybody's born on third base. That's how it happens. Born on third base, acting like you hit a triple. That's the attitude that I resist. That's going to do it. All right, let's do the deads. These are people who died on this day, people who died, folks who passed away. Let's decide, where did they go, heaven or hell? It's up to us. Dead on this day in 1982, Randy Rhoads. Heaven. Put Randy Rhoads in heaven. He seemed like just a big dumb stoner guitar player guy who was cool and had good energy and was always smiling, and everybody liked Randy Rhoads, and he was always like super baked and just like, and then he dies in a plane crash. As super rock star style plane crash. Ozzy Osbourne and the band, they were on tour and they were taking a break, and they stayed the night at a friend's giant sprawling Florida mansion. Had all kinds of peach orange groves and all that stuff. So they parked the tour bus, the Ozzy Osbourne tour bus, in the driveway of this fan's giant mansion. And it turns out that the fan has a plane, and the fan's like, you want to go for a ride in my plane? This after spending like 8 hours with Ozzy. You can imagine the level of intoxication. So they fire up the plane because dude's got a backyard airstrip. Okay. They fly up plane. Randy Rhoads goes with them, and they're flying around, and they decide, they're like, hey, let's buzz the tour bus. They're all sleeping. Let's wake them up. So they're going to take the plane. They're going to buzz the tour bus. And they clipped the tour bus with the plane's wing, and they crashed into the house, and everybody died. Not Ozzy. Ozzy probably slept right through it. I bet they had to tell him about it the next day. They had to wake him up the next day. Firemen like putting the fire out in the bus. They're like, shh, let him sleep. It's Ozzy. All right, Randy Rhoads, we're putting him in heaven. Dead on this day in 1990. Here's another one. This is fun. This is another big one. Another big icon of rock. And yeah, Randy Rhoads is an icon of rock. That dude, he's like, you know what Randy Rhoads is to rock and roll? You know what Randy Rhoads is to rock and roll? Randy Rhoads is the Gale Sayers of rock and roll guitar players. Yeah. If you know who Gale Sayers is, you put it all together. Let's see here. Randy Rhoads going to heaven. Dead on this day in 1982. Dead on this day in 1990. Here's another one. Andrew Wood. Sorry, I'm giving this credit. Andrew Wood died on this day. Do you know when Andy Wood? Andy Wood is, oh boy. Okay, so Andy Wood is extraordinarily important in the history of grunge rock. Andy Wood is the reason that all the record companies moved to Seattle and started signing all of these Seattle bands. Andy Wood is the reason. Andy Wood was the lead singer of a band called Malfunction. I think it was Malfunction. And then Malfunction, which was a really popular band in Seattle around about late 80s. Malfunction went on a break, and Andy Wood started jamming and singing with members of another Seattle band called Green River. Now, Green River was essentially Pearl Jam without Eddie Vedder. Eddie Vedder was not in the band yet. So you had Green River and Malfunction come together, and they created a band that they called Mother Love Bone. Okay? So now you got this band, Mother Love Bone, which is made up of two different bands that were popular on the Seattle scene. Mother Love Bone slays the town. Whole new sound, that grunge thing that we know. Andrew Wood is like the guy. Of course, we all know history will tell us that the guy actually turned out to be Kurt Cobain and Eddie Vedder, but no. The guy that got all the record companies there, that got all of these people there at these shows where they would see a Kurt Cobain, where they would see an Eddie Vedder, where they would see a Chris Cornell, was Andrew Wood, who died on this day in 1990. He was a junkie. He's a heroin addict. He was a great rock star. Never saw his potential. But the members of his band, Mother Love Bone, they would get together with Soundgarden, who were another band, of course, from Seattle at the time. They would get together. So the remaining living members of Mother Love Bone would get together with members of Soundgarden, and they would create the band Temple of the Dog as a tribute band to Andrew Wood. Temple of the Dog, of course, would have the number one hit and just, one of the, it's easily one of the three quintessential grunge songs of all time. Jeremy Smells Like Teen Spirit and Hunger Strike by Temple of the Dog. I'm going hungry! Come on. Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell dueling leads. I'm going home. That was grunge. And that's all due to Andy Wood. Also, I should say, Ann Wilson from Heart plays a seriously large role in why the Seattle scene came to be. Heart was a big band in the 70s. They were from Seattle, but in the 70s, they became big rock stars with their LA contract, and they lived down in LA. But then after Heart had their first initial run, Ann and Nancy Wilson moved back to Seattle, their hometown. Then, if you remember, in the 80s, Heart had a huge comeback, right? You know, till now, I only got by on my own. I never really cared until I met you. You know, they had a huge comeback. And Ann Wilson told the record labels, I ain't coming to LA anymore. You guys come to Seattle. And when the record people would come to Seattle to try and, make sure that, Ann and Nancy Wilson were okay, because Heart was having a huge comeback in 1987, 88, they started going to clubs. And Ann was like, you got to see this band called Mother Love Bone. And boom, Andy Wood, dead on this day in 1990. I'm putting him in heaven. I'm putting him in heaven. Because he's such a cool story, such a name that people don't know, but such an important figure in certainly Gen X culture and all that. Andy Wood, dead on this day in 1990. Dead on this day in 2005, John DeLorean. He made the car from Back to the Future. It was a real car that he made, and then they went bankrupt because I believe the car. All right, here's what I know about John DeLorean. He made the car out of cocaine, and people would drive the car, and they were getting high on cocaine, so the government said you can't have a cocaine car. I think that's it. That's all you need to know about John DeLorean. He's going to hell. Some of the details on that might be a little fuzzy. You're probably going to want to Google that. But, if you just want to have cocktail party knowledge, there you go. He made a cocaine car. Say that. If you're at a cocktail party and the name John DeLorean comes up, just go, oh, he made a cocaine car, and walk away. They'll either think you were kidding or like, that's funny, that's so witty. But nobody's going to go, wait, that has absolutely nothing to do with the story of, because it kind of does. He made a cocaine car. All right, born on this day, or not born on this day, dead on this day in 2008, Arthur C. Clarke. He's a sci-fi writer, right? He's like 2001, Space Odyssey. That was him. Kubrick's worst movie. If Kubrick can't adapt your book into a watchable movie, I don't know. All right, he's going to hell. I hate that movie. I hate 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know why I hate it? I hate it because I love Kubrick. I love Kubrick. He's my favorite filmmaker. Everything he does, I'm just on the edge of my seat, my eyes. He's just so thrilling. Except for 2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't know what the fuck that is. Tried to watch that a dozen times in my life. I'm going to watch it at some point with my 15-year-old, and I swear to God, if when it's over, my kid looks at me and goes, oh, I totally get it, I'm going to be so mad. How do you go from something like Strangelove, which is just like the perfect film, the stories, the way they intertwine, and the way it all comes together in the end, and there is a message that dawns on you as the credits roll. How do you go from that to 2001: A Space Odyssey? I have no idea. That was the movie like 5 hours long? It's probably like an hour and a half. It just feels like 5 hours long. Hated it. Arthur C. Clarke, writer, he wrote that. He died on this day. You're going to hell. Nobody understands your stories. Died on this day in 2014, preemptively. You're going to hell. Oh, hey, Arthur, come on back. Let this guy go ahead of you. This guy is... like at the airport, you see like the fancy business travelers who like don't have to wait in any lines and they just go straight through. Well, when it comes to hell, Fred Phelps gets that kind of frequent flyer. Fred Phelps. Remember this guy? Here's the thing about Fred Phelps. Like I think a lot of people, it turns out, didn't think Fred Phelps was as bad as I did. I I mean, Fred Phelps, back in like 2001, 2002, he's a preacher down there in Westboro Baptist Church. He's like the most hateful preacher in the world. I mean, yeah, he doesn't like the gays, and, he probably doesn't like, no, I think he liked blacks fine. I think there were blacks at the Westboro. He just didn't like the gays, and, that's kind of a problem. He probably never even had to really deal with the trans issue because he died, in 2014. It was before we were really openly talking about trans. But he wouldn't have liked that at all. He was hateful. Remember, he used to go and he would and he would get his church people to show up at funerals for veterans that were killed, like, in the first or the Gulf War. And he's a piece of shit, man. He's a piece of shit, horrible man who, like, you took the word of Jesus, who, I'm not a man of faith. I don't subscribe to any religion, and I don't know that I believe in all the magic and the hocus pocus, but I do believe in the writings. I do consider myself a bit of a Jesuit. Jesus is my favorite philosopher. How can Fred Phelps, like, take the word of Jesus and just so completely misinterpret it? Anyway, fuck you, Fred Phelps. You died on this day in 2014. I hope it hurt. And, you go ahead, straight there. Go to hell. All right. That's going to do it, guys. Those are the prerequisites, the things that we have to get out of the way before we can get into all the things that are happening here. Hold on. We'll get rid of the dead people. I'm loving it. Look at my stupid picture. My cool-ass bald eagle went away. How can I be a proud American without my stupid eagle? Where is it? Where's my eagle? Really? Ugh. Okay. Where's my dummy? Look at that. There's the eagle. All right. What the hell's going on with the eagle? Why is it paused? I don't want it fucking paused. Oh, God. There we go. Now it's not paused. All right. All right. I want to send a big thank you out to our executive producer of today's show, the lovely and talented Leslie C. Thank you so much. The executive producer is the person on the previous show who tipped the most. And if you would want to be executive producer tomorrow, there you go. You can just drop a little something. Be like Leslie. Drop a little something in the Cash App or the Venmo. Thank you so much. Peter says 2001 is boring AF. Yeah, that's the movie, not the year. The year was not boring. I mean, I can't speak for the first, I can't speak for the first 8 months of 2001, but certainly the 9th month and the 11th day certainly did change a lot. So I couldn't consider 2001 the year boring AF. Yeah, the movie sucked. The movie sucked. I hate that movie. I have just and look, I have friends who like that movie. I have like film dork friends who like that movie. Not a single goddamn one of them has ever been able to tell me what it's about. Because nobody knows. And like religion, they start to fall back into, well, it's not really. See, that's what Kubrick was doing. It's not about a story we recognize. It is about our future. It's about where mankind. Oh, shut up! Shut up. What, we don't have beginning, middles, and ends in the future? We can't have a fucking story that is, relatable to a modern audience? What was he thinking? All right, what do we got here? Let's talk about some things that happened yesterday. How about this one? Astronauts. Dude, that was so fucking cool. That was so cool. It was so nice to see. We got our astronauts back. Thanks, Biden. I think that's hysterical. You guys, we're not good at this shit, okay? We are not at the point where we can say, we could rescue them anytime we want. We're going to go right now. Nah, you know what? I'm Joe Biden, and I don't want them rescued for no reason that anyone can think of, but They couldn't have gone if they wanted to, guys. We're not good at it. It's not like, yeah, we can go anytime we want. The attitude of people. Biden left them stranded in space. Those people are so stupid about space. They don't, you know, another thing was stupid about space. I watched this whole thing, the reentry. It was so cool. It was so great last night to see this. And I'll explain why I think it's great, because the actual event itself wasn't eventful, and it wouldn't have been eventful. There was no chance that it was going to be eventful. Here's what I mean. So a lot of people, as I was watching this live online, the re-entry of the capsule from the ISS carrying Butch and Sony, they're back, and two other people. You know, like, I saw people tweeting stuff like, oh, you just know the media wants this thing to blow up. Oh, you just know, they want Elon to fail again. And I'm like, you guys don't understand space, okay? And I'm a space geek. I was born on July 20th, 1969. My entire life has sort of been, I've always been interested in it. On my birthday, because of July 20th being the moon landing, every year on my birthday as a kid, there was some significant space thing happening. And so part of my birthday was, okay, it's nighttime. We got to look up in the sky and watch the Soyuz and the American satellite hook up. I remember that stuff. So it is something that I am probably, you could call me a dork or a nerd, but more than the average person, interested in and up to speed on, okay? That was a capsule, you guys. There was no chance that thing was ever going to break up. You're going to put the space shuttle was a ship. The space shuttle was a pilotable vehicle. Okay, that thing blew up on reentry once because of a combination of fuel flow and heat reduction tiles. That was a combination of things. And it happened, it exploded, the space shuttle exploded and had radical disassembly, as we like to call it. I love that. Radical disassembly. That was radical. The space shuttle over Texas experienced radical disassembly because it was a plane with parts and fuel and an engine and combustion stuff going on. And okay, what we saw yesterday was a tin garbage can being dropped from the ISS. It wasn't going to blow up. Because I got into an argument with somebody on blue face. What is that thing? Blue spin or whatever. Blue, blue sky. There you go. And they were saying, they're like, no, you could see it in space. It was firing those little, engines. And I'm like, dude, that's air. That's just compressed air. That's not an engine. Okay, so the capsule that we got back yesterday, there was never going to be a chance that it was going to. And TV, remember, TV covered it for 5 minutes as we watched it fall from the sky. It's amazing how long these things take to fall. So this thing is falling from the sky. And there was never any fear that it was going to blow up, okay? Even though everybody on Twitter is like, oh, it's okay. Okay, don't be stupid. It's not going to blow up. The fear here, the only real fear with these capsules is the deployment of the parachute. Now, in that moment, because they have 3 stages of parachutes, the first parachutes are small and they don't look like they're doing much, but they're actually significantly slowing down the capsule as it just comes down at a ridiculous speed, like a penny being dropped from the Sears Tower. This thing is just coming down. So the first parachutes, they slow it down. And then the mains. Then come the mains. That's the scary one. Because if the mains do not deploy perfectly, right? If the mains don't deploy perfectly, then that thing's going to crash into the ocean. It's a tin can crashing into the ocean at 900 miles an hour. Or probably more. I don't know. So everybody's dead, right? So dead. Shoots, lucky for us, we have kind of perfected parachute technology years ago. So there was never any real fear that anything was going to happen. Once they made it through, and once we saw that thing didn't turn bright red, if it had turned bright red, there might have been a problem, because that would have meant that the heat shield wasn't working and that they were cooked inside. But it didn't. And we know this because, again, we know how to do this with capsules. We know how to return capsules to Earth. Notice it wasn't the controlled rocket return that we're so impressed with from Elon Musk, where he brings the rocket back after, because that's the booster. That's the actual thing that will explode. right? But when they bring that back and they pilot, no, we're not even doing that with capsules. We're still going old-timey. So anyway, there was never any fear. Once they got inside our atmosphere and were coming down and that main chute opened, there was never any fear. Even though, still you're like, okay, open the capsule. Let's see what we got inside, right? There's always that horror movie fear, but that has never been realized. There's never been an incident where somebody, at least not an American. I can't speak for the cosmonauts or the Chinese. I don't know if there's ever been an incident on Splashdown, but not with us. Although Gus Grissom did panic and he blew the hatch and we lost the capsule, but that's a story from 40 years ago. We don't need that. Wait, was it Gus? Was that Gus or Shepard that did that? Who panicked and blew the hatch? Ed Silla. Who panicked and blew the hatch? That was Gus, right? Thought it was Gus. Anyway. So man, freaking astronauts were awesome, and that's awesome, and we got them back. And what is really, really cool, and I need to point this out, a lot of people tuned in. All the news. That's the other thing. I saw a bunch of people. I'm watching this thing on CNN, MSNBC. I got Steve Lookner up on my laptop. It's being covered everywhere. And you're seeing people, the liberal media, they don't even care about this. I'm like, what are you talking about? CNN did a full hour, like a full special programming where they covered everything. So stop it, you faggots, okay? But the fact that it was shown is what gets me so excited. And obviously these were special circumstances. This is Butch and Suni. We've been following this soap opera since they were up there last June, right? They got stranded up there in the Blue Origin. Jeff Bezos built a rocket. They went up to the International Space Station. By the way, do you remember how excited they were? They were like really, Blue Origin, baby! Suck on that, Elon! That's like, the attitude. And then it wouldn't start. When they wanted to leave the ISS and come back home in the new Jeff Bezos spacey ship, it wouldn't start. So they've been stuck there forever. So that's the reason that we're all watching this. That's the reason CNN is going live with their coverage. That's the reason that everybody's talking about it as a news story. And that's the reason that we all saw that fucking incredible moment when it splashed down. And I want to point out that there was absolutely zero, other than Butch and Suni, special about this mission. That happens all the time. All the time. And we barely notice. And we bring people back from the ISS all the time. The news doesn't cover their re-entry. The news doesn't give a shit about it because it's very just fundamental. This, again, was an exception because of Butch and Suni and because they had ginned us up for a full year. Hey, they know the story. We should probably show them how it ends. All right? But I'm not bitching and moaning about that because I'm a space dork, and I love the fact that a whole bunch of people got to see something really cool. And that's the ultimate of what we got to do about space. We've got to, and I think Elon Musk is a weirdo, but what I want him to do is reignite the American spirit for adventure, for travel, for all of that stuff. There was a time when the biggest rock stars on the planet were Mercury astronauts. Nobody was more famous in this country. The moon landing drew the biggest audience that American television sets had ever seen. And then the space shuttle came. And it was years and years of the space shuttle being essentially a pickup truck so that they could build that stupid space station that made everybody go, this is fucking boring. And when the average person stops being interested in what we're doing in space, no matter how important the stuff that we're doing, it ain't walking on the moon. It ain't beating the Russians. And we lost interest. And what happens when the average person loses interest? Well, then an interesting and obscure congressman will begin to say things like, we need to cut NASA's budget. And all of a sudden that takes hold because really, what have they done? Well, the space shuttle was actually a wildly successful program that did everything that we now enjoy today. Cell phones, global positioning, internet, all of that shit could not have been done without the work that the space shuttle did. Was it exciting? No. Did it radically change our everyday life? Yes. Is it the reason that nobody gives a fuck about space anymore? Yeah. Because the space shuttle was a boring fucking pickup truck. just doing workman-like space shit. That's why we never went back to the moon. We probably could have gone back to the moon in the 80s if they had really wanted. We could be landing a goddamn space shuttle on the moon. Actually, I don't know if we could do that. I think it's gravity and stuff because it's a plane. Point is this. It was because the space shuttle was so boring and that we only paid attention to the space shuttle when everybody died. That's it. There are 2 space shuttle missions. The space shuttle flew hundreds of missions. There's only 2 that people know, Columbia and Challenger. That's it. So what happened yesterday was cool, man. It was making space and the idea of space, the very real chore of all the hard work that we've got to do, making that part of our space future interesting and framing it like entertainment. And that's what it was. It was framed like entertainment. Welcome home, Butch and Sonny. Yay! Now let's do something else. Let's do something cool. Let's try and land a space shuttle on the moon. Let's go! That'll get some ratings. We're going to try tuning in. We don't know how this is going to work. We're going to try and put a space shuttle down on the moon. Oh, God. All right. Anyway, this was very cool. Did you see this? This was something that they tried to make.
Free vessel
all about. This is what it's all about. So it lands. Oh, and by the way, this is really cool because even though we've had the technology to be able to do this for years, we've never covered a splashdown in 30 years because nobody cares. But here we are covering a splashdown. We actually see it. Your cameras are there. This is it. It used to just be grainy black and white film of, astronauts climbing on the deck of an aircraft carrier after they were pulled out of the water. We never actually got to see them in the water. We never actually got to see the hatch blow. And we certainly never anticipated seeing this, which is the most awesome thing ever. Did you see the dolphins? A whole bunch of dolphins. Like the damn thing lands in the water. We're looking at it right there. The rescue boats show up. But before anybody got there, a whole bunch of dolphins. Watch this.
They're working on top of the Dragon capsule. Earlier, we saw that person performing safety checks. Now we can see some harnessing being placed.
There we go. Here they are. Here's dolphins. Dolphins. Do you see them all? There's a bunch of dolphins
around the capsule.
Oh my God. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
This harnessing. Now we can see some harnessing being placed.
By the way, do you notice there's a dude on the door? That gives you an idea of how big the capsule is. Look at that man. That's a fully grown man. That's a military guy. That's a dude who's, probably got some size to him. He's not a tiny little man. Look at him. That's the size. Here, you see him? Right here. He's trying to blow the hatch. He's trying to get them out.
Around the capsule. This harnessing is what will be used to lift the Dragon capsule out of the water and onto the...
Look at the dolphins! Yay, dolphins! See? Thank you. Even nature is playing along. Help us out, nature. Give us things to get people interested in this shit.
Recovery vessel. Wow, we got a cute little pod of dolphins. It wasn't just 1 or 2.
I mean, that water just looks beautiful. We had ideal splashdown parameters today. Obviously, wave height, ne'er a concern. The weather is beautiful.
All right, there you go. That's good. That's awesome. Dolphins. You got dolphins involved. How bad can it be? All right, let's see here. Covered the astronauts. Okay, so the JFK stuff. The JFK stuff was released. Guys, there's nothing to be released. Just because you create a false contention, the false contention is they're hiding stuff. Okay, what if they're not? Okay, so let's forget about the possibility that they might not be hiding anything, that we do know that it was Lee Harvey Oswald and, there's probably other people involved. Whatever, right? We kind of have a good idea. We've moved on from JFK. All right, so. They released files that said Lee Harvey Oswald did it. Okay, there was never any, we don't need to know this, okay? That we need to know the Epstein list, but we can't get that, can we? No, we can't get the Epstein list because that's got a whole bunch of names of people who are still alive. Which is why I'm sorry, but as long as this administration is there, I will never believe any Epstein list. JFK list, apparently it was released in 2023. What we got yesterday was apparently released in 2023 by the Biden administration, but nobody gives a shit. There's no new information, people. What do you think we're going to find? I don't get it. Anyway, nice distraction, huge waste of time. Now, the Epstein list is not a huge waste of time because for the very reason I just stated, there are names of people. Epstein, this is a recent story. These people are still out there. There are folks who are thriving in this society who very well may be monsters associated with Epstein and all the crap that he was involved in. We need to know those people because we might be, dealing with those people now because they're still around. That's why Epstein is different, Pam Bondi, Biondi, whatever the fuck. What? Give us the Epstein stuff. Although I won't believe it. I won't believe it. How about this, though? I thought this was interesting, the JFK stuff. So this is Jack Schlossberg. Jack Schlossberg. Excuse me, let me give you his full name. His name is Jack Kennedy Schlossberg. He is the grandson of JFK. He is the son of Caroline Kennedy Schlossberg. And he's more active in social commentary than any of the direct scion Kennedys have been. JFK Jr., back in the 90s and stuff, he was a playboy. He ran a magazine called George. He wasn't really political. And everybody's like, when are you going to run for president? He's like, I'm not really political. Caroline Kennedy, the daughter of President Kennedy, Jack Kennedy Schlossberg's mother. Caroline Kennedy was never political. She's good Kennedy Democrat and all of that, but not political. Not like she was an ambassador. I mean, that was the extent of her public service, was serving in the diplomatic corps, nothing political. Jack Kennedy Schlossberg is different, man. You got to look out for this dude. He comes from money. He's got a connected family. I mean, look, you think, well, the Kennedys have no power. Dude, there's like 3 Kennedys in Congress or in governorships, and all of the Kennedys are still very powerful. Very powerful. Anyway, point is this. He's got a better chance of being president than you or I. Yeah, he's Jack Kennedy Schlossberg. So, obviously, the Kennedy family is not happy about all of this rehashing of the Kennedy bullshit. They're not. Don't fool yourself into thinking that the Kennedy family is like, if they would only tell us what happened. The Kennedy fucking family has lived this, all right, through blood, through tears, through whatever the hell you want. They know what the story is. And it's not like there's some rural family from Ohio who have been, someday the government will tell us what happened. The Kennedys fucking know, okay? They know. You don't think Teddy found out? For like 30 years, the dude was the most powerful senator in America. Trust me, the Kennedy family knows everything that they need to know. So they would like all of this shit to just stop. Here's Jack Kennedy Schlossberg. This is the grandson of JFK. He's not happy about the seriousness in which the Trump release of these things are being given. So let's hear what he has to say. Here he is, JFK's grandson, Jack Kennedy Schlossberg.
You're better than this. This is so fucking stupid. There's so much actual news going on. Why are you covering this? At least report that something happened. I love you, Harry Anton. You're really smart. Why are you guys covering this? I love you, Aaron Burnett. You're really smart. Why are you covering this? Why are you covering this? Stop. This is why this shit takes hold, because you guys fucking cover it over and over and over again.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. He's sitting there. I don't know if you could see what was behind him, but he's sitting there. CNN is live covering the release of the JFK files or whatever. And of course, this is his grandfather. This is his family that he's now talking about. And he feels exactly the same way I do. What the fuck, man? This isn't a real story. You covering this for an hour last night, CNN, is, exactly why nobody fucking likes you. Because you're dumb. Because you make every bad decision. The decision was have it on a scroll underneath. Direct people to your fucking website. But you're honestly going to chew up airtime with what amounts to essentially a QAnon fucking story? God. All right, there you have it. Let's see here. What else do we have? What else do we got? Oh, this was funny. This guy out of Minnesota, there's a state senator in Minnesota. He's a very MAGA guy. He's a very pro-Trump guy. He's the guy he introduced at the state level a bill that would make Trump derangement syndrome, which is a made-up social media thing. But no, this very serious man. He got up in the Senate of Minnesota and he wrote out a bill and he said, we're going to make people who hate Trump illegal. That's basically what it was. But he's known as the Trump derangement syndrome senator up there in Minnesota. Well, he got himself in a bit of a pickle. We'll show you exactly. We'll introduce you to him and then we'll show you exactly what happened here. Because he did. He got himself in a bit of a pickle. Do we have the video? There's a really cool video. All right. Yeah. No, looks like we don't have the video. Did they get rid of the video? Yeah, they did. They got rid of the video. Well, you do all that big windup. All right. GOP State Senator Justin Eichhorn. The video was funny. The video was a campaign ad where he's wearing his red MAGA hat in his campaign. He's like, I'm Justin Eichhorn, and I'm running for the family values ticket. This is my wife, and this is my daughter. He's like doing all this stuff where he's pointing out his daughters, and he's pointing out his wife. And he's like, the liberals are trying to destroy family values, and I'm going to defend family values. Right, he's this guy. That's who he is. All right. He got arrested yesterday for trying to pick up an underage prostitute. Yeah. Well, not even a prostitute. Sorry. That would be giving him too much credit. Because if it was an underage prostitute, you'd be like, well, he just picked up a prostitute. He had no idea of knowing how old she was. I mean, he could have said she was there was wiggle room if he's like, well, I didn't know she. No. This guy got caught in one of those FBI stings where he's chatting with a girl who has clearly said she's 15. And then he tried to hook up with her. Yeah, family values. I'm Justin Eichhorn. Liberals are with the perverts. Fucking scumbag. Minnesota Senate Republicans called for Eichhorn's immediate resignation. All right, very good, Minnesota Republicans. Look at this guy. Can we see him? Let's look at this guy. Oh, yeah. Here. Let's get a good look at this guy. I'm running for senator because Trump's got to protect families and I got a daughter. You got a daughter, dude. In your campaign ad, you're talking about your daughter. I got a daughter, needs protection. And now you're trying to fuck a child? The FBI caught you? Cool. Look at this guy right here. Look at him. Ugh. All right, let's find out exactly what went on here. It says State Senator Justin Eichhorn was arrested in Bloomington, Minnesota on suspicion of soliciting a minor for sex. Bloomington police led Eichhorn, 40, to believe that he was talking to a 16-year-old girl and then met the senator and arrested him Monday. That's the oldest. What? I mean, thank God. Thank God. But this motherfucker is a politician? I mean, don't you think, I know we're all like, politicians are terrible and they're awful and they can't be trusted and they're the worst people. Okay, all of that can be true. But don't we also kind of like think, well, they're at least sharp. Like politicians are at least sharp. They're not fucking like, they're shifty and they're street smart, they're savvy, they go where the wind blows. That's kind of, you can be all of those things. You could be an asshole, fool, dummy, immoral, jerk off, who's also sharp and knows exactly. And for people that rise to certain levels in politics, certainly at the state level, I think that they've got to be a little bit sharp. This guy is still talking to people online and believing they're 16. I mean, you got to imagine even the best pedophiles are like, yeah, I don't pick up chicks online anymore. I can't trust it. It's almost if it's not the actual feds, then it's some dude on YouTube who's gonna like chase me through a Walmart, call me a pedophile. You know, those like, come on. So this guy who is an elected representative of people, he's 40 years old, he's got a wife, he's got kids, he's trying to hook up online, believing that the anonymous person he's talking to is actually a 16-year-old girl. Okay. State Senate Republicans have called for his resignation. It says, we are shocked by these reports, and this alleged conduct demands an immediate resignation. Justin has a difficult road ahead, and he needs to focus on his family. I think the family wants him as far away as possible. Icarn, who also serves as chair of the Iron Range Resource and Rehabilitation Board, was booked into the Bloomington Police Department jail and will be transported to Hennepin County Adult Detention Center. As a 40-year-old man, if you come looking to have sex with someone's child, you can expect that we are going to lock you up, Bloomington Police Chief Booker Hodges said. Don't fuck with all Bloomington Police Chief Booker Hodges. Old Booker can come get you. That's why that's perfect for his TV show. He can turn to the camera after he's like they arrest him. He's like, and then it's like, yeah, arrest him. And then they do the fingerprints. And then he turns to the camera and he goes, and that's why they call me Booker. And then like, no. You know what? It would have been cool if that was like the Law and Order gong gong. Take him away to jail. And that's why they call me Booker. See, that would have been great. Icorn's arrest complicates efforts by Senate Republicans to expel DFL Senator Nicole Mitchell from the upper chamber following her arrest last year after she was alleged to have burglarized her stepmother's home. What is going on in Minnesota? Anyway, there you go. The guy who was famous. Look, if I'm being honest, I never heard of the guy who tried to make Trump derangement syndrome illegal. Never heard of that guy before until yesterday when all of the news was like, you should have remembered him. But really pretending like it was a big story now so that this story today makes more sense and is more relevant. But it wasn't a big story then. Anyway, I did see his ad though. His campaign ad was knowing that he spends time on a laptop trying to flirt with 16-year-olds. Yeah, his campaign ad is really cringe. All right, what else do we got here? The French want the Statue of Liberty back. Did you guys hear about this one? French, they're like, yeah, we don't like Trump. We want the Statue of Liberty. Come get it, bitch. Come get it. First of all, come get it. Second of all, that's not how it works. That's not how you gave it to us. You ever seen anything about the making of the Statue of Liberty or how it came to be and all that stuff? It like sat around in pieces for a very long time. All right, again, don't fact check me, but it's something like this. They like gave us that thing like on July 4th, 1776, right when we were brand new. They like gave it to us and they shipped it over here, but we didn't have the money. We didn't have any money. We were a new nation. We couldn't put it together. We were like, so it just sat for like decades and it like turned all green and gross. And then it was like 100 years later that somebody was like, let's put it together now. I don't know. That might not be true at all. I think it is. Anyway, the French want the Statue of Liberty back. Well, come get it. Come get it. How's that going to work? I mean, you should see what we're going to charge you because you're going to have to send dudes over here to dismantle it and take it. If you guys want to take it, that's fine. But you're going to have to send French dudes over here, right? And they're going to have to set up in New York Harbor there. And they're going to have to work. And it's going to be a big job, you guys taking that thing down. And we're going to let you do it. But it's going to cost you to like use that area of New York Harbor because that's going to be an inconvenience. It's going to cost you $10 million a minute. Come get it, fucks. Trump don't play around with tariffs. $10 million a minute for you to bring your crews over here and dismantle the Statue of Liberty. It's probably going to take 18 months. It's not going to be quick. It's going to take you forever. You're going to owe us everything. Fuck you, France. Or actually, that's not true because I like France. I think France is our friend. I think France. I just don't be doing that. Okay, this is beneath you, France. You don't get to ask for the statue. You don't demand the Statue of Liberty back. You gave it to us as a gift. Okay. Hey, we want all the help in World War II. We want that back. Give it back to us. Yes, I know. Yes, I understand the important role, the outsized role that the French resistance played in how the Americans and certainly the Allies in general would have never been able to get the foothold in Europe against the Nazis that they had without all of the sacrifices made by the French resistance. I know that. But still, World War II, stupid people think you wouldn't have won it without us. So we're going to go with what stupid people think. Give us World War II back. God, I'm stupid. This is the dumbest show. And yet there's still 20 of you sitting here watching. All right, let's keep going. Okay. All right, here you go. Yeah, is this going to be the last one? No, this can't be the last one we're going to do. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. So I got a couple of fun ones here that I want to do. Yeah. All right. So I got a couple of fun ones that I want to do, but I got to go run to the bathroom. That's right. I said it. I need a quick break. You guys good with that? I need 2 things. I need to go freshen my soda. Okay. Then I need to run to the bathroom. So if you just give me, let's say 5 minutes, can we do that? It'll probably be less than 5 minutes because, I just want to get back here really quick. But I got to go do something. All right, something. I just told you what I got to do. Jamie! All right. I'll be back. Hey, here's a question. Why when I do this, why when I do that, does CeeLo, my dog, why does she appear just for a second? Whoa, where'd she go? Why doesn't she stay? Hi, baby. Hey, baby. Why doesn't she stay? I'll be right back. Thank you. There we go. Sorry, you missed nothing. I was just rambling about. All right, here we go. Let's get started back. Tracy Morgan. Let's talk about him. Tracy Morgan is in the news. Did you see this thing on Monday night? He was at a Knicks game sitting courtside because he's Tracy Morgan. He's balling like that. Sitting courtside. He's sitting next to Bobby Bacala. Actually, not sitting next to. Not like they went to the game together, but a couple of seats down from him is Bobby Bacala from The Sopranos. Big Bobby's there. And Tracy Morgan has a bit of an incident. Like national TV, I think it was a TNT game. And Tracy Morgan is sitting there and he doubles over right there at courtside. Now you got to understand, Tracy Morgan, I'm going to get you pregnant. He's that guy, which Tracy Morgan for me falls into a couple of different categories of, how you can be considered by me funny. Tracy Morgan isn't funny. Like Tracy Morgan is very funny. All right, how do I make those two statements back to back make sense? Tracy Morgan is just a naturally gifted, funny person. Just the way they react, the way they stand, the way they talk. They're not like, Tracy Morgan is not Louis C.K. Okay. Louis C.K. sits there and he writes and he comes up with these incredibly mind-blowing and interesting ways of doing comedy, stand-up and observations and all that stuff. That is not Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan, walks into the room and just starts being Tracy Morgan. And it's kind of funny. And you're all like, this guy's hysterical. So that's the level of respect that I have for Tracy Morgan. Now you pair that with Tina Fey and oh my God. I mean, that's the Tracy Morgan saying things written by Tina Fey. That is one of the funniest and most deadly combinations ever. But you can say that for any number of people who Tina Fey is written for. All right, point is this. Tracy Morgan is not a healthy guy. Like, I don't know if you remember, but like back in 2010, he had a kidney transplant. He almost died because his kidney gave out and he had to have a kidney transplant. That was like 2009 or something. I don't know. And then like 2014, remember he was in that terrible car accident where he suffered traumatic brain injuries and people were like, oh, Tracy Morgan's never going to be the same again. And then he recovered from that. So, I mean, we're talking about a guy that's not that old, and he has had two major, very serious health incidents, kidney, head, all that kind of stuff. So now we're seeing this on TV. Here, I'll pull this up for you. Yeah. Okay, so here's Tracy Morgan. This is at the Knicks game on TV, sitting there. Again, I just gave you all of his medical history. So we're very concerned about, when these things happen. Is that video or just a picture? Oh, there's just a picture. All right, there you go. That's just a picture. You see, he's vomiting, like vomiting all over the court. And it's not like, I'm Tracy Morgan, I'm going to puke. No, it's like there's something wrong with him. There's something, he's getting very sick. Okay, so there's that. And then we had this. Here's more video, right? Yeah. All right. So it looked, this is how serious it was. It wasn't a bit. Again, Tracy Morgan, medical emergency at the Knicks game on Monday night. Here, let's watch this. All right, so obviously courtside, they paused the game. He's now being moved into a wheelchair. He's got his face covered with a towel. It's Bobby Bacala! Look at him. Big Bobby from The Sopranos, also sitting courtside. So look at that. There you go. They had to wheel Tracy Morgan. Best thoughts for him, but we do have some information on what that all was about. As it turns out, he was admitted to a hospital, and then he started Instagramming or something from the hospital. Says it was food poisoning. Tracy Morgan, food poisoning caused vomiting during Knicks games. Tracy Morgan says food poisoning is what was to blame for his taking ill during Monday's Heat-Knicks game at Madison Square Garden and that he's doing fine now. The actor-comedian posted an update on Instagram on Tuesday morning along with a smiling photo from a hospital bed thanking fans for their concerns. What did he eat? What did he eat? Can we be honest about something? Let's be completely honest about something. Many of you might be walking around going, I had food poisoning. Oh, yeah, I've had it a couple times. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Maybe I'm going to have to take these stories one at a time and we'll go through them. But most people who think they've had food poisoning didn't have food poisoning. They just ate too much. Or food poisoning is not something you forget. Food poisoning happens all of a sudden and it kills you. I know this because I've never had food poisoning, but I was married to someone who did, and I got to see it happen. I know we've all called in sick to work. I think it's food poisoning. No, it's not. No, it's not. In the modern world, food poisoning, especially in our culture, our process, food poisoning is very rare. You really do have to go outside what is typical to find yourself a good shot at getting food poisoning. It isn't as common as we all make it seem because we like to use it as an excuse to call in sick for it. None of you have ever had actual food poisoning. Food poisoning requires a hospital stay. I don't know if have you been in the hospital? Was your little stomach flu such that you had to go to the hospital? Because if not, it's not food poisoning. I had food poisoning for like 4 days. What'd you do? I just stayed in bed and watched TV. All I could eat was soup. All you could eat was soup? You didn't have food poisoning. Food poisoning is your body going, hey, something's in here and we will not be accepting anything else ever again until we figure out what's going on. That's food poisoning. You can't eat soup. You can't. I just had soup. I just had toast, and I just took a little bit of peanut butter. I spread it on there, and then I had some tea, and cause food poisoning. You didn't have food poisoning. If you're eating that shit, you don't have food poisoning. Food poisoning means you're in a hospital with IVs. They're trying to replenish all the fluids that your body is rejecting because your body doesn't trust anything anymore. That's what food poisoning is. All right. Kevin in the chat room says, have you seen the videos of Tracy Morgan at airports singing with or without you at the top of his lungs? Yeah, I've seen that. He's an entertaining guy. I've seen that. The first time we had, Kelly and I used to have Tracy on quite a bit because he was touring and doing stand-up comedy. And I remember the first time we had Tracy Morgan on with us, we were at Star Power. Remember Star Power? Star Power is a electronics store off of the tollway here in North Dallas. We were at Star Power, and it was very convenient for Tracy because he was at the Improv, which means he was staying at the Intercontinental right there, which means that all he had to do was just come across the tollway and come over to Star Power. So we're sitting there, and Tracy Morgan comes in and he sits down, and this is the first time we had him on. And he brought somebody, his opener, whoever it was, which is cool, which is actually a testament to like him being a good dude. A lot of stand-up comedians, when they do their radio hits, they do not want us talking about their middler or whoever it is that they're touring. They're very protective about, this is my show. Not Tracy. Tracy brought his middler. They sat down, and I swear to God, Kelly and I just sat back and just went, whoop, and Tracy Morgan just talked. Non-sequiturs for, look at that guy over there. Hey, come on over here. I want you to meet my friends, Pugs and Kelly. Like that, just that for like 40 minutes. And we're like, you gonna interrupt him? I'm like, nah, just let him keep going. And then he's walking around Star Power with, so does it, the videos of him singing in an airport doesn't surprise me. Tracy Morgan enjoys the spectacle. Adam is, of course, Adam, look, I love this. I love this, Adam. This is you fucking disingenuous piece of motherfucking shit. Sorry to say you're wrong. You're not sorry, you fucking prick. You relish this. You're like, yeah, I get to say he's wrong, but I'm not an honest person by nature, so I'm going to frame it as sorry to say you're wrong, because I'm a decent person who has compassion for people, even those that are stupid. Shut up. It's like, sorry to say you're wrong. Food poisoning is more common than you think. Shut up. No, it's not. What's more, people get sick. Real food poisoning. Ask a fucking doctor. Real food poisoning is rare. Okay? They shut down fucking businesses for real food poisoning. Real food poisoning concerns things like botulism, things like fucking salmonella. Okay? Not, I don't want to go to work last night because I stayed out drinking with my friends and then had burritos late at night. I think the burritos made me sick. I got food poisoning. Shut up, Adam. Adam, everything is not supposed to be an argument between you and me. You can let some shit go, Adam. That was fun. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, how about this? Oh, come on, Adam. Adam. I thought we put it to bed, but no, Adam's going to come at me for this. Have you guys seen this? Have you guys seen this going around? Talking about Tracy Morgan, huh? Talking about Tina Fey. Remember I said Tracy Morgan's just a funny dude just bumping into things. But when you add Tina Fey to it, Tracy Morgan becomes like one of the most seriously funny people in the world. Tina Fey also did that for Alec Baldwin. First, Tina Fey made Alec Baldwin a star. Not a star. He was already a star. That's why he's hosting Saturday Night Live. But when Alec Baldwin started really hitting it out of the park on Saturday Night Live, it was because Tina Fey was writing for him. She's like, oh, I can write for that guy. And then, of course, she wrote the character of Jack Donaghy on 30 Rock for Alec Baldwin. And I'm telling you, between Tracy Morgan and Jack Donaghy, as played by Alec Baldwin, those two characters are some of the funniest television characters of all time. And it's Tina Fey. Everything funny either of those people have said, it's Tina Fey who sat there at a word processor and went, oh, then Jack should say this. She's a genius writer. She's a genius dialogue writer. So anyway, Alec Baldwin is in the news. Interesting, because we just talked about Tracy Morgan. They're very close friends. Alec Baldwin is in the news. He's got a new show. There's a new show. Alec Baldwin's an interesting guy, man. I love Alec Baldwin. Now, I know I'm not supposed to, right? Because he's got political opinions. I don't give a fuck. I don't listen to any of that shit. Alec Baldwin as an actor, you bitches ever seen The Cooler? You fuckers don't know. Glenn Ross, you fuckers don't know. Baldwin's a fucking banger of an actor. He's awesome. He's my Jack Ryan. Hunt for Red October. That's right. He's my Jack Ryan. Anyway, I like Baldwin. And then it turns out Baldwin can do comedy, and he's crushing it on 30 Rock. Hysterical. So Baldwin's cool. Now, I know. He fucking hates Trump. So, we can't, separate the art from whatever. Fuck you. I don't do that game. Baldwin's funny. I like Baldwin. Baldwin's also a condescending prick. Baldwin thinks he's like super smart. And he kind of is. I mean, he's well-read, or at least he presents as somebody who's well-read and articulate and all of that. Yes, okay, whatever. I don't know. Maybe he is smart. But he's real pushy about it. Like he not only thinks he's smart, but he thinks we're all dumb. So he's got this very condescending way. So that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. But I don't care. Doesn't matter. I still think he's funny. So Alec Baldwin's got a new reality show because after he shot and killed that lady. Yeah, he shot and killed her. No lies told. Was he holding the gun? Did he pull the trigger? Well, that's up for debate, but let's go with, was he aiming the gun in the general direction of Elena Hutchins, who was killed? All right, well, he shot and killed her. Not saying he did it on purpose. Not, it was a terrible accident. But so he shot and killed her, and then his life is all weird now, right? It's like, he's fucking gross. Like everything, but he's really gotten himself in a place with his life that in 1999 you would have you'd never been able to convince him that, hey, let me tell you about, sure, it's great right now. You and Kim Basinger seem all happy. Let me tell you about what the year 2019 is going to be, right? There's no way Alec Baldwin in 1999 would have believed that. But here we are. So Alec Baldwin's created a reality show. Have you seen this? The Baldwins. which his wife, Hilaria, his wife sucks. His wife is awful. I've watched a little of the reality show. His wife sucks. And I look, I'm a fan. Don't get me wrong. I am aesthetically, optics only, a huge fan of his wife. I mean, I totally get why he was like, 50 or whatever he was when he married her. He's like, she's hot. She's super hot, but she's awful. Like, you want to talk about condescending and mean and short and curt and being born on third base and thinking that you hit a triple? That's her. Holy shit. She was a yoga teacher that married an A-list actor, and now suddenly she's got a reality show. And she's, anyway, she's terrible. She's mean. And she plays it all off with, I can be mean because I'm so otherwise wonderful. Shut up, Adam! Or, she's fucking the way she talks to him. So anyway, there's a video going around today. And I don't believe this is from the reality show, but this is basically what I've witnessed as the relationship between Alec Baldwin and his wife, Hilaria. By the way, they've only been married like 8 years and they've got 16 kids. I remember when they got married, they like immediately had a baby and then they had another baby. And then I think there was some like, weird family, like, what's that? Where you have like 15 kids, gene split, not genes, in vitro. I think they've got like way too many kids. Anyway, here you go. I want to show you this and I want to talk about this. Here is Alec Baldwin and his terrible, terrible wife on the red carpet somewhere. Here you go.
The Hilaria show.
No. I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No. I mean, I think this is a really.
Look at. Fucking Alec Baldwin is like, if I didn't kill that woman a year ago, I would have not let you talk to me like this on camera. He is cucked. He is totally cucked. Watch his reaction again. Deep breath. He's like, what the fuck? There's a lot to break down here. We're going to watch this again. There's a lot to break down. And again, remember, she's angry at him because she's talking about how nervous she was in this new endeavor that she's apparently producing. And her husband is standing there going, no, you're a winner. You are great. And that's what set her off. Him being Mr. Supportive, great husband. Look, let's not kid ourselves. You're there with Alec Baldwin. That's the only reason Extra is talking to you, okay? If you're not Mrs. Alec Baldwin, okay, you're not being interviewed by Extra. You're not even invited to this fucking thing because you're still teaching fucking yoga in the valley, okay? So let's watch again how she treats him. And look, very complicated. I got a lot to say on this, so let's watch it one more time.
The Hilaria show.
No. I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
Okay, right here, there's a whole series of things that goes on here. He knows where the camera is because he's an old pro. He absolutely understands the optics of being a public person. He is right now looking at the camera.
This is why. Yes, we'll have to
communicating an idea.
just cut him out of the show. No.
Rosie's being
I
watched.
think this is a really.
And he's out. He's not even.
And it's
But you know what?
real, and we
You know
take a
what?
lot of chances. And
I am Alec fucking Baldwin. I am famous for my temper. People do not put People don't put Baldwin in the corner. That's what he's saying right now. She just put him in the corner. So that's his reaction. He's walking away from it now. He's like, okay. He's like, you know what? It's probably better. Because he doesn't know. He's like, should I fucking say something? Should I be like, you know what? That was incredibly rude for you to say on camera. That is not cool. So he doesn't want to do that. He's like, fuck it. I'm just going to walk away. And now he's just walking away.
I think that it's
pretending like everything's fine. He's having a conversation with somebody else. Let's watch her, though. Not him. We see his reaction. He's being Mr. Supportive husband guy. She's a fucking total bitch to him, embarrasses, humiliates him in front of everybody. He does his thing. He slinks away. He's like, okay, you know what? This is fucking, How about the limo on the ride home, right? That's what I want. I want to hear that. I want to hear what Alec has to say to her and ride home, because I promise you it's not walk away, yes, dear. Let's watch her, though. I want to watch her reaction, because this is something we see so frequently. And I'm not saying it needs to stop. I'm just here to point it out and to say, this happens, and this is why it's okay. This is why nobody has a problem with it.
The Ilaria Show.
No. I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great.
All right. Right now, she is fucking pissed. Right? He just said it's gonna be great, and she is pissed that the movie star, who is the reason that she's there promoting this thing anyway, she's pissed that he's just being this ardent cheerleader. It's gonna be great. Look at her right now. She's fucking pissed.
You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking.
Oh my God. Oh my God. When I'm talking, this is our rule. I'm the boss. This isn't like a co-equal thing where, no, it's when I'm talking, you don't talk. Here's what I think's going on with Alec Baldwin. I think he's lost so much money with attorneys and lawyers. I think like half of his fortune, whatever it was, let's say he had 50 million. 25 of it has gone to attorneys. All right. So now he's down to 25. And I think he knows damn well that with 9 kids with this chick, she's going to take the rest. Poor Alec Baldwin is completely trapped. He's going to start doing like Japanese seltzer commercials. He's going to, it's what all these Hollywood guys do. They go over to Japan and do TV commercials. All right, so watch. So she's pissed. She's just shut him down.
You're not talking. No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. Out there,
it's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking. No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. You're
a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking. No, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
Can we agree that that's an incredibly rude thing to say to anybody, especially someone that you love, especially somebody that you're there being interviewed on TV? Can we agree that that's inappropriate? That's fucking, oh my God. Oh my God. When I'm talking, you're not talking. Okay. Now let me show you how delusional this bitch is. She now turns to the camera. Look, he's also still making eye contact with the camera. She is now going to turn to the camera and watch what she does with her eyes. What she's doing with her eyes is trying to convey the idea that she is 100% in the right. All of us in the audience agree with her because he's obviously a fucking asshole for telling her how great she is. Watch this little flare with the eyes.
This is
right here.
Why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No.
Yeah, cut him out of the show. Yeah, cut Alec Baldwin out of the HBO show called The Baldwins because everybody's interested in you. Nobody gives a shit about you. You have the show because of him.
I mean, I think this is a really raw show.
Oh, that's what I wanted.
This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No.
All right, there you go. This is the thing I wanted to point out. See how she laughs? That's all very real. She's being a girl boss there. She's being demanding. She doesn't care about coming off like a bitch. She is telling him what is what. And then she's going to turn. She's going to resume the interview. And then she's going to laugh. That laugh is a performative laugh designed so that you don't think what just happened was fucking serious. Because her husband is walking off. That was fucking serious. It was a real moment between two people. They tried to hold it together because it was on national TV. And then she did that bullshit thing where I'm just going to laugh at the end of it. And everybody's going to be like, oh, good. She's laughing. It's okay. It's okay. No, it's not okay. She's a bitch. She treated Alec Baldwin like he doesn't fucking count. And I swear to God, I think it's because he lost all his money to attorneys and she knows that he is not divorcing her.
The Ilaria Show.
No. I think we're going to see, we're going to see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's going to be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking. No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No. I mean, I think this is
I love that. He's mad. All right, there you go. That is Alec Baldwin being cucked. And it's also, Alec Baldwin is also trapped because, he's a part of that Hollywood sort of, I don't know if he is anymore. I don't know how Alec Baldwin sees himself because he's a New Yorker, but, very What I'm trying to say is you would think Alec Baldwin would be closely aligned with the group of people who always believe the woman. The man is always the one. Yeah, you think like that's probably like what he would be aligned with, that whole group. But then here we are in a situation where this woman needs to be told that she's being, but he's a man, so he can't do that. Certainly not on TV. Could you imagine a man correcting his wife in 2025 on television? I mean, well, actually, we saw it during the Oscars. I thought it was awesome. Remember the Oscars, the Iranian filmmaker who won for like best documentary? And he runs up there with his wife, and his wife wasn't reading the cards correctly. So he was like, "Give me the cards, woman." And he like rips the cards. I was like, yeah. Look, I've been married twice. I've been married to two women who are on virtually every single measure better than me at life. But I'm here to tell you, there have been moments when they've been idiots too. And I have said, why are you being an idiot? And it needed to say. And I did not say it because they were women and I'm a man, and that sounds misogynist. No. Anyway, Alec Baldwin, I believe, would have been in the right to say right there, I don't appreciate you talking to me like that. He could have controlled the moment. It would have been sketchy online. Like social media, people would have been like, Alec Baldwin basically just beat his wife on a red carpet. And then we'd, see the clip where he definitely doesn't beat his wife. But that's what it says. I don't know, man. He's trapped. That fucker, that dude is a rat in a cage. He is trapped. Half his money has gone to lawyers. The other half is like, this chick is in charge of. She's like, you're going to do everything that I say. Because you know what? If you want to divorce me, I'm taking everything. I've got 15 of your kids. You're going to be hosting game shows on the Game Show Network 5 nights a week, Alec. So he's cucked. He's totally cucked. Now, let me show you something else that's trending today. There's a totally different version, another movie star from a different era. Let's check this out. I saw this. This was trending today. And I don't know why it was trending today, but it does sort of contrast wildly with the whole Alec Baldwin story. This was the time that Sean Connery was interviewed by Barbara Walters. Do you guys remember this? He sat down with Barbara.
Thing to slap a woman now.
Again, 2025. A-list movie actor. Now, Alec Baldwin was certainly at some point an A-lister. He's been scandalized. But 2025 movie star on the red carpet being completely humiliated, shut down, abused, berated, marginalized by his wife. 2025 A-list movie star. That's how it is. Here, let's go back 1980 A-list movie star. Okay. Sean Connery. This is how Sean Connery handled, his relationships with women. Openly on a Barbara Walters interview viewed by 100 million people. Comfortable saying this in 1980.
You did an interview, which may come back to haunt you. You know what I'm going to say, right?
No.
Okay. You did an interview in which you said, not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist. It's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good. I
think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
What would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything else, and women are pretty good at this, they can't leave it alone. They don't want to have the last word, and you give them the last word, but they're not happy with the last word. They want to say it again and get into a really provocative situation. Then I think it's absolutely right.
To give her a good slap?
Yeah, absolutely.
What if she gives you a good slap back?
Well, then you get into another area. I mean, then maybe she's getting to like it, and then it becomes something else. I don't know. But seriously, I think that it's the last resort. He's not going to do it because he wants to do it. Huh?
Wait till people see this interview. Are you going to get mail?
Might get some female.
There he is. One of the most beloved leading men in Hollywood history. Sean Connery, 1980, with Barbara Walters, just talking about sometimes you got to smack a woman around. Couple of ways we can go with that. I personally, I'm a it's time to leave kind of person. You walk out. All right. I don't know ever raise your hand violently to a woman. Certainly not aggressively and certainly not initially. I have been attacked by women. I've had women go absolutely ape shit on me. I've had one particular situation. I mean, we covered it on the radio. We lied about it. About what actually happened. But I got my eye socket broken by a woman. There's another situation where I didn't need stitches or anything, but I lost a lot of blood. I was completely nails all over me. I never, I leave. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. The worst thing that in that situation I probably would have done was I'm certain that I shoved both of them off of me and then left. That's whatever. You want to litigate that in front of a judge. We never went that far, but so me personally, no. Simply because I understand the difference between a man and a woman. Okay? This comes in handy in 2025 because the very same reason that I would never raise my hand to a woman in a fight, especially one that I loved or something like that, I would never raise my hand to a woman in a fight is the exact same reason why I don't want transgender women swimming against other or competing in sport. It's because men and women are physically different. It's a difference. It's not right. But and a lot of men, I know a lot of men have similar stories. Women are wildly violent in relationships. And I don't know if this is a new thing. Look, we know that men are too. Human beings are violent. But in the case of where it's almost, the guy is like really just kind of a neb, like a nebbishy kind of like just a normal guy. Women are often extraordinarily violent in relationships. And it never gets talked about. Because one, the woman isn't going to talk about it because it just seems bad. And the guy isn't going to go out and go, yeah, she knocks me around like fucking crazy because that looks bad on him. And there's also a situation where women in abusive relationships, and by the way, I'm not talking about man on woman abuse, I'm talking about woman on man abuse. A lot of women are able to capitalize on the very idea that one, nobody believes that this kind of thing happens. And two, they know that most men would never raise their hand against a woman. So they exploit that. Come on, hit me, you bitch. Come on, you're not going to hit me. Come on. And that happens all the time. This is real. I'm sorry. I know that I might be delving into Adam Raina's world where only one thing exists and it's always just the guy who's beating up the innocent woman. People are fucked up. Relationships in individual situations are very varied and they encompass all different scenarios. I personally have been fucked up by a woman who beat the shit out of me. Okay? And I didn't fight back. Because let me tell you, if I had. So I don't know. So when Sean Connery sits there and says, sometimes a woman, she deserves a good smack. I don't agree with that statement. But I do want to actually, because that's not the way I personally see the world. But I do want to add this, because here's another component of that whole thing. Sean Connery, James Bond, sitting there talking about how sometimes a woman needs a good smack. Whole lot of women got wet in their panties when they saw him say that. That shit's a turn on to a lot of women. It's the other thing that we need to stop acting like isn't a thing. Talk about other women I've dated. I can't tell you how many women. This is right. Do you know how many women want to be choked, want to be shoved against the wall, want to be smacked around during passion and sex. I am telling you, it freaked me the fuck out. How many women are into that? That's a dangerous area. It's a dangerous area. So, Sean Connery probably found himself in relationships with women who understood what the deal was. He's a man of that age, and I guess, a man from Scotland, he's going to smack his woman. I guess that's okay. Well, if that's okay with their relationship, whatever. I don't know. Please come knocking if the neighbors find out. You're going to have to deal with that. It's still going to be illegal, but if that's what happens inside your relationship, Sean Connery saying sometimes she gets knocked around. And I'm telling you, that probably turns her on. Not all of them. Pugs is saying that women who are abused get sexually turned on by... No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying there are some women who get sexually turned on by being choked, by being tied up, by being, dominated. That's fucking real, man. That's real. And I don't like it. I'm a romantic. I don't like anything crazy. Very normal. All right, so there we go. 2 examples of Hollywood leading men. Sean Connery, how he handles his women, and Alec Baldwin getting completely cucked on a red carpet. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, here we go. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for taking the bait. Adam, who can't control himself, he's got to say stuff. Adam says, there's a difference between what a woman wants with the man that she supposedly trusts than with a violent act against her in danger. I know. But sometimes, and here's a situation, what happens when you're in this relationship with this man and you trust him and you like it? You like being choked and smacked around. Drive my head into the headboard. You like that. And then you break up. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you stop driving my head into the headboard. People suck. People suck. That's why all of this stuff is dangerous. Because, yeah, what Adam says here is absolutely true. But also, people suck. So, trust. Like, we are going to be married forever. We are going to stay together, and our little weird sexual peccadillos will never leave the confines of this bedroom. Yeah, right. You guys break up, and all of a sudden you're dividing shit up. Your wife's lawyer is like, tell me about the time you put her head through the wall at the hotel in Hawaii. Well, Your Honor, that was a sex act and she wanted it. It was the most traumatic evening of my life. People are bullshit. He says, to me, you're still really just talking about the type of women that you like. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means, Adam. To me, you're still really just talking about the type of woman that you like. So from all of that, you're saying what you've taken from it is that I like women who want to be abused? Okay. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But that's okay. I'm sure he is furiously. This is what I turn into Pugs TV for. Thank you, Frankie. Real conversation. Not me. I like nice people. I want a nice girl. I want a nice girl, and I want her to smile. I want her wearing sundresses. I don't want to hit her. I don't want her hitting me. I want her to give me back scratches and go on dog walks. That's what I want. Adam's over here thinking I'm like into I was trying to think of like that scary Marvel character that Scarlett Johansson plays in all the leather. Yeah, I could be into that though, now that I think about it. I don't know. All right, let's keep going here. What else do we have? There was something else I wanted to talk about. Sean Connery versus that. Oh no, I don't want to do that. How about that's not good either. Guys, I think we're going to be done. I think that's it. That was fun. There's a $5 million dog. I don't know if you heard about this. This is my son, my kid. By the way, big round of applause for my son who sat in with me on Monday. He's going to be doing that more. That's not easy for him, although I know this is me just kind of projecting. He was all in. He's like, yeah, that'll be fun. Let's do it, Dad. That'll be cool. But I could tell, because he's my kid, that was a different personality. He was charming and he was fine and he was great. But that he was trying to be cool for the camera a little bit. He was a little bit, not. Have any of you guys played that game? Have any of you guys played that game that we invented? Oh God, you suck! It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. So I said to my son, there's a $5 million dog. Apparently there's apparently a dog sold for $5 million. And I said, hey, did you hear about the dog that sold for $5 million? And he's like, fake news. And I'm like, what? I go, no, it sold for $5 million. He goes, fake news, because no dog is worth, what did he say? No dog is worth. I just ruined the joke. Anyway, it was all dogs are worth 10 million or something like that. It was a cute joke. Anyway, he was great. Tomorrow we're gonna have another guest. Tomorrow we'll have a different studio setup, kind of a thing, and we're gonna try it again with a guest because we've got things we've got to talk about, things that we're doing. The official launch of Shock House Dallas, which is this new entertainment venue and thing that we're doing. Peter says he likes the God You Suck game. That's good. God You Suck. We nailed one yesterday really quick. It was on the phone. We did it on the phone. It was really quick. It was like in 4 moves, and we're like, damn, that was a good one. What else do I need to mention? Oh my God. Okay, hold on. You know what? Sure, we got a couple of minutes here. Why not? Let's screw around. Hold on. Da-da-pa-pa-pa. Hold on. Okay. All right. All right. So you guys, I'll leave you with this. I've started watching, because I've got 5 episodes or 4 episodes. I've started watching the new season of White Lotus, which I don't know if you watch White Lotus or not. It's a show. It's in its 3rd season now on HBO Max. You don't need me. Like, just Google it. It's like everybody's like, this is the greatest show. It is. It is the greatest show on television. It is there with Succession and what Sopranos had meant to me, and what, just the real appointment TV. So it's back for its 3rd season. The White Lotus. Here's what the White Lotus is. The White Lotus is a name of a extremely luxurious and expensive vacation resort chain. So there are White Lotus resorts all over the world. Season 1 was White Lotus, Hawaii. So it's about a bunch of people who go on vacation to this resort in Hawaii, the White Lotus Hawaii. Season 2 was like White Lotus, Monte Carlo. It was like on the Mediterranean, and it was, this season is Thailand. All right, so this season they're at the White Lotus in Thailand, and it's anthology. Sometimes it's the same guests, like sometimes guests from one season will go to the next place the next season. Sometimes it's people who worked at the White Lotus in Hawaii have been transferred to the one, that kind of thing. Anyway, it's an anthology series, and every year it's a different story about people having a vacation at this incredibly expensive resort, and it's great. The characters are awesome. The writing is brilliant. The mystery, there's always a mystery. Somebody gets killed. There's crazy sex going on. There's drugs, exotic locales. It's like Fantasy Island. Anyway, it's great. So I've been waiting because, I hate episodic TV. I can't stand the idea of watching something on Sundays at 8:00 having it be over at 8:59, and then like, so I got to wait a whole week before I get to watch them. I don't do that anymore. Okay, that was me in the 1990s. That is not me anymore. So White Lotus, I have to wait a couple of weeks for there to be a number of episodes built up so that I can jump in. Well, I jumped in last night. Very, very good. Walton Goggins. I mean, come on now. Walton Goggins, Parker Posey. I mean, the cast this year is amazing. Leslie Bibb, Carrie Coons. Oh my God. So great. Who's that? Who else is in it? Anyway, a lot of people are in it. Patrick Schwarzenegger. Yeah, you got Arnold Schwarzenegger's kid, the kid who's half Schwarzenegger, half Kennedy. He's running around. Anyway, it's really good. It's really good this year. But there is something that's that I've noticed, and it's not driving me nuts. I love it. I just think it's so funny. There is a character on White Lotus this year. Her name is Chelsea, and she plays Walton Goggins' girlfriend. Okay. Walton Goggins, who we all love. Walton Goggins, like the greatest actor alive right now. He's the best. Fucking Baby Billy on Righteous Gemstones. Oh my God. Anyway, Walton Goggins. Oh, you know who else is in this season? You know who's one of the stars of this season of White Lotus? Uncle Rico. Remember Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite? Yeah, he plays like an American expat, like rich dude who's living in Thailand. He's interesting. Anyway, point is this. Forgot what the point was. Where are we in my conversation? All right. So Walton Goggins plays kind of, we don't know what he is. He's a grifter. There's some kind, he's a bit of a criminal. We don't know. He's kind of a shady character. And he's got this girlfriend, Chelsea. And they're staying at the hotel. Now he's got something going on. He's trying to figure out something about the person who owns the place. So whatever. But the character of Chelsea, first of all, she's just delightful. She's British. Okay. So she's this British party girl who, you know, she doesn't belong at some fancy resort, but she's here with her dirtbag boyfriend who somehow was like, baby, you want to go to a resort in Thailand? She's like, okay. So now she's there. She is so innocent to the world, and she's so happy just going with, I mean, but here's the thing. She's attractive, right? But she's got fucked up British teeth. Like she's got like big giant, you know, like big crazy British teeth. And like, but the character is incredible. The character is incredible. And from the minute I saw the character, I went, holy shit, that's Cecily Strong's Gemma character from Saturday Night Live. So I want to show you both of these characters, okay? So I want to show you the original. Cecily Strong, who used to be on Saturday Night Live, had this character called Gemma. And Gemma was a Manchester, UK club girl who was always with like a man, like she was always some kind of arm candy. And she just said like really stupid things in this really crazy, you know, trashy British accent, but she had big fucked up teeth. This is what they have created. They've taken the Cecily Strong character of Gemma from Saturday Night Live and they created a character. All right, I'm going to watch it. Okay. So this is the real Chelsea. I don't know. Should I show you the real? Okay, let me show you Gemma first, okay? So I'll show you the real Cecily Strong. There you go. Okay. All right. We'll show this one. This is Jason and Cecily Strong playing a couple of complete douchebags.
Do you change for a nickel?
Unlimited 2% cash back.
Really?
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card.
All right. So here, watch this character that Cecily Strong created in Saturday Night Live 10 years ago. Always one of my favorite characters of her because this character is so funny.
This is so romantic. What a great idea, Gene. A winter sleigh ride? It would be a great place to propose to somebody.
Huh? You're hilarious. That's why I'm really starting to like you.
Well, I love you, and I'm ready.
Oh, honey, look. The sled has room.
After you, my lady, please.
Oh my God, Gene! Oh my, it's jerking me right now. Is that you?
Who is that, Gene?
I have no idea.
Babe, look, that's Gene. Man, I'm blown seeing you. Come on, get out of here.
Excuse me, no, we waited an hour and You're a jerk, sir!
Yep.
Wow, I wish there was a first time that happened.
Hi, I'm Gemma. Nice to meet you. Happy Christmas and all that.
Babe, no talking like that while I'm wearing these jeans. They're too tight for that accent. You know what I'm saying, Gene? You know what I'm saying? Slight man, let's go.
Yep.
Whee!
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm Gemma. I'm British. I got a brand new vagina today.
What? You got a new vagina today?
Well, we did it in Thailand. Flew in this morning, so whatever the time difference is, I guess I got it tomorrow.
Merry Christmas to me, today or tomorrow. All right, Gene? We're gonna rock! Thank you, Thailand.
Hey, don't make me laugh. It'll come loose.
All right, so there you go. All right, so that's just an idea of who Gemma is. All right, so this character, Cecily Strong, did it a bunch of times. You can go on YouTube. There's like a dozen different, Gemma appearances from Saturday Night Live. All right, so here's the character of Chelsea. All right, I'm gonna show you this one. Now, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot for me to choose from. So this isn't the best example of how they're exactly the same. But this is the character of Chelsea from. Is it sharing? Yeah, this is the character of Chelsea from this season of. I'm telling you, it is the Cecily Strong character. Here we go.
I am in the entertainment business.
Oh.
Here working on a
She will
project,
answer
actually.
all your
You
questions and Ken is.
Hold on. What is happening here? Are you guys seeing this? Okay, here we go. All right. Here we go.
I am in the entertainment business.
Oh.
Here working on a project, actually. You used to be an actress.
She will answer all your questions and Ken escort you to your room.
You are so pretty. Wow. Popcorn Claire. Isn't she so
Let's
pretty?
just go to the
This
room.
way, please. Well, I hope you enjoy Thailand. Thank you. She's so nice. And her name's Mook. How cute is that? Swadika. Hey, Mook.
She will answer all your questions and Ken escort you to your room.
You are so pretty.
All right. Anyway, just a little something I thought was interesting. I think Mike White, who is the creator of White Lotus, I think that he took that Cecily Strong character from Saturday Night Live and went, "That's interesting. I wonder if we could do her as not for laughs, but do her as an actual person." I highly recommend. I'm 4 episodes in. I highly recommend the new season of White Lotus. It is, it's every bit as good, man. So it's just, you can't, the casts that this dude puts together, Mike White, this cast, every time, it's just like so incredible. Oh, and by the way, here's something really cool. I haven't gotten to this yet, but so one of my favorite actors, like a dude that I've seen everything that he's done in the last 10 years because every choice he makes is incredible. Sam Rockwell. I love Sam Rockwell. Jojo Rabbit. His performance in Jojo Rabbit. Oh, anyway, Sam Rockwell. He's great. Apparently, Sam Rockwell has like a show-stopping cameo appearance in this season of the White Lotus. And I haven't seen it yet, but I can't wait for it. It's coming up. He's married. Sam Rockwell and Leslie Bibb are married in real life. And Leslie Bibb is one of the main characters this year. So it would stand to reason that Sam Rockwell would be there. Why? Because they actually do film these things at these incredibly nice resorts in these incredibly exotic locations. So if you're Leslie Bibb and you're married to Sam Rockwell, you guys might be sitting around the table going, "So they want me to go to Thailand for 6 weeks and just live at this resort. You want to do that?" And I'm sure Sam Rockwell was like, "Yeah, let's go. I won't make a movie for the next couple of months." Anyway, so they bring all their family and all that shit. So, that's interesting because Leslie Bibb is one of the stars of this season. The great Sam Rockwell is supposed to make some kind of a crazy cool appearance. I don't know that episode has aired yet. I don't know. Maybe it has. I'm only, like I said, I'm starting episode 4. Actually, I'm on like episode 2.5. I'm like halfway through episode 3. But tonight I expect to knock off episode 4. White Lotus. It's great. Great. Another thing that I watched recently that I could tell you about over the weekend. HBO Max again. It's called the I don't know what it's called. Maybe it's called The Trial of Karen Reed. You guys know this Karen Reed girl? We talked about it on the show. I remember the trial when it was going on because I was familiar with it. That's why I wanted to watch this. It's a multi-part docuseries. I think only 2 have aired, and I watched those 2. Now I'm up being held hostage, right? I'm like, I got to wait for the next one to post. Ugh. Karen Reed was a chick in Boston who was dating a Boston cop, and they went to a party, and they got into a fight at the party, and she left, and the dude never came home. And then she went looking for him, and they found him dead on the lawn at the party where she left him. And everybody said he was a cop, and it was at a cop's party, and everybody there were cops. And all the cops were like, she hit him and killed him. And then she's like, I didn't hit him. Anyway, crazy story. I don't know if you remember it, the Karen Reed story. Really interesting docuseries on HBO Max about it. She didn't do it. I'm sorry. I don't think Karen Reed did it. I don't think she did it. I'm telling you. And I could give away a very big spoiler as to why I don't think she did it. That is revealed at the end of episode 1, but I won't do it. I won't do it. And I will tell you that all the way through the first episode, I was like, oh, she totally did it. She totally did it. Come on, what are we doing? What are we wasting our time with this? What are there, 4 episodes here? I'm 30 minutes into the first episode. I know that she did it. And then at the very end of that episode, I was like, holy shit, she didn't do it. She did not do it. Wow. I did not see that bit of evidence coming. Whoa. So she didn't do it. Wow. Anyway, you might be interested in that. I think it's called The Trial of Karen Reed. And it's on Max. Or maybe you still call it HBO. Maybe you still call it HBO Max. I don't know. I really don't know. All right, guys. That's it. I love you. Thank you very much to Adam for causing me to, kind of start fighting. This is interesting. Adam says that that's a classic improv game. I think. Are you talking about Oh God, You Suck? Because I don't know that as a classic improv game. I know all the improv games. I'm a student of the Herald. Trust me. So I don't. Maybe is that something now? Like maybe theater sports, because I'm not really familiar with like theater sports or comedy sports. But that's another like brand of improv. It's kind of improv. So maybe, but I wasn't familiar with it. All I know is that I like it, and it's something that me and my kid do, and it's fun. There you go. All right, that's it. I got nothing else. Oh, I do want to thank one more time the incredible, thank you so much to my friend, Leslie C., our executive producer. Today's executive producer. If you want to be, look at that. My screen just went. There you go. We're done. I guess that's it. The show's done. They're telling us we're done. No, now it's black. Now what? Oh, I don't like that. Don't like that. That looks like bad art. That's bad, probably AI art. And on that, we're going to be done. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do a noon show tomorrow. It'll be a normal noon time and all that good stuff. I love you guys. Be good to one another. Watch White Lotus if you want to watch good TV. Bye.